We are live. Unfortunately, I'm having a lot of technical issues with the stream as far as the orientation goes, horizontal, vertical. I welcome you all. Please leave your comments and messages. I do hope they show up. Let's just see. Feel free to comment here. So this one is the inconvenient truths Uber CEO doesn't want you to know. I mean, you could literally replace that with the inconvenient truths LYFT CEO doesn't want you to know. The inconvenient truths DoorDash's CEO doesn't want you to know. They all have a lot of inconvenient truths. So this guy, our friend here, Dara Khosrowshahi, not. Please leave a comment, ladies and gentlemen. If you can, just leave a comment. Why is this doing this here? Let's see, maybe we can get some action here. I don't know, it says rotate the device back. Orientation is locked. I don't know why it's doing that. We have 37 people, so screwed up. I just jumped in. I couldn't figure out the orientation of this thing. But here we are. We have 37. We got Bacon in the house. There it is. They're showing up. Bacon's in the house. So this is a piece that Len Sherman wrote, right, from Forbes magazine. He writes for multiple outlets. And remember a while back, and this is a driver hero. This is a hero to us, Len Sherman. This is a guy that exposed San Diego in the house. Peter Sorrell's in the house. George is in the house. This is a guy that exposed Uber through Forbes, and then Uber sent their legal team, attacked Len Sherman, made him take the article down. Forbes legal team fought back, and the article went live. This is a guy that Dara Khosrowshahi hates. Al Capone is in the house. What's up, bro? Thanks for helping getting my account back up after being suspended for so-called fraud. Well, that is the best news I've heard today, right? Al Capone, glad we got your account back. Fraud, sadly, they don't tell you what type of fraud you have committed. Uber just says, oh, well, you've committed fraud. Well, what type of fraud have I committed? We're entitled to know what type of. Hollywood, Florida in the house. Dara has never told me the truth in his life. Thank you, Nathan. Amen. I think that's a difficulty that Dara has. Truth. It's called truth. Telling the truth, right? Not lying. Petty T is in the house. So this is a rather long article, but the one thing Len Sherman does, he does it very thoroughly. So we have greetings from Quebec, Canada in the house. Canada, I've been talking to the Canadians at FAIR and getting things ironed out. We're on the right track again. Took a lot of back and forth. We had a 30-day period to set the record straight. So I'm really happy to hear that things are on the right track. Now, I just had 8 beautiful days in Hawaii. Marvelous time. I actually need a holiday. I need a holiday after a holiday. You know when you go to Vegas for 2 days and you're like, it's supposed to be a 2-day vacation in Vegas, but then you actually you come back so tired that you need another vacation. So I got to say, after my Hawaii vacation, and we did so much from 7 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock at night, ate way too much. I was exhausted, traveling, 4 kids, 4 teenagers, wife. Chicago's in the house, Syed's in the house, Hisak's in the house, King Will's in the house, Alicia's in the house. Nice. We've got New York. Shout out to you all. In fact, let me put the sucker on. It's so damn loud. Right. Shit, I'm so scared to put this thing on. Hello. Shout out to all the awesome drivers in this live feed. We welcome you all. Dara Khosrowshahi, please watch this video. Please. Dara Khosrowshahi, please watch this video. We're talking about the inconvenient truths that the Uber CEO does not want to hear. Right, so Dara, you saw me at the headquarters in Uber calling you out. I was right there at 1455 Market Street calling your name. Dara Khosrowshahi, we are calling you again. Watch this video. Any of the staff, any of the employees in San Francisco, send your boss this link. He needs to pay attention. He needs to pay attention to the drivers. Thank you. Massachusetts, shout out. Paul. Nathan, shout out. Hisak in the house. And then David as well. David is horrible. Oh, those lovely CEOs. Don't we love them? So let me dive straight in. I came back from an amazing vacation. Super, super cool vacation. And crazy day yesterday. Had to sort out some things in Philadelphia, which I did. And the good thing is we're back on track. The good thing is we are back on track. Lovely man in the house from Colorado. Okay, well, lovely man, I'll hit you up after the video, right? So although Uber doesn't like to talk about it, times have been tough on both sides of its marketplace. Any long-time patron of Uber's ride-sharing service knows that the prices have skyrocketed, right? I mean, you go and order through Uber Eats, find out, like all those fees, like just a person trying to get some food, some basic food. I mean, suddenly when it arrives on your doorstep, like the meal is like 3 times the price, right? As long-time patron of Uber's ride-sharing service knows that prices have skyrocketed in recent years, and most Uber drivers have found that not only has their ride-sharing pay not kept up with inflation, but it has declined substantially over the past 2 years. Nonetheless, Uber has gone to considerable lengths to obscure these inconvenient truths. And we're going to talk about these inconvenient truths. And it's not just about Uber obscuring them. It's the same with David Risher and Lyft. It's the same with Tony Zhu. It's the same with Amazon Flex. It's the same with Spark. It's the same with DoorDash, with Postmates, with Grubhub, and all. They love obscuring the truth. So he says, oh, that's not true at all. Uber's just doing what the market wants. Dude, what are you smoking? Get off that drug. So Uber has gone to considerable lengths to obscure these inconvenient truths while continuing to tout the company's commitment to transparency. In fact, you know what? I have seen this JVDH, a guy. Yeah, you know, there is a thing called capitalism, right? But there is also a thing called corruption. There's also a thing called wage theft, my friends. And so JVDH, stop talking crap in this channel. I've seen your name here before, right? Wage theft is not part of capitalism, my friend. I got to remind you, wake up. So yeah, ideally, we would like capitalism, supply and demand to play out. Ideally, you can explain why it's wage theft. Yeah, I can explain why it's wage theft because Uber already settled for $200 million for wage theft in New York. So don't come and preach capitalism here. I have my master's in business. I fully understand what capitalism is. Wage theft, tip shaving, toll shaving is not capitalism. It's corruption, it's theft, right? So just want to educate you a little bit. I don't know how much you know about these companies, but in this channel, we've been in the trenches. I run a fleet of several cars. I truly understand what capitalism is, and they are not practicing capitalism. In fact, if they were practicing capitalism, let's just use 2 basic concepts here. Their employees the actual people that are employed by Uber in San Francisco, and they're independent contractors, right? Under true capitalism, you would treat a true independent contractor as a true independent contractor. That means the business laws that apply to an independent contractor in the capitalistic model need to be abided by, but they don't abide by them. So I really don't need someone trying to explain capitalism. If we want to make a separate video about capitalism, we'll gladly do that. I would say go and do your research first, JVDH, because you're coming in here rather unprepared. You're making some bold statements, but you're coming in, and I'm not trying to put you down here, but you're coming in, making a bold statement, and then you're starting to ask questions. So let's talk about the inconvenient truths. Last year, he said, I wrote an article for Forbes.com. I think this is the one that put Len Sherman on the map, that Forbes magazine article that he wrote, highlighting the disconnects between what Uber is willing to acknowledge about its business practices and the everyday experience of riders and drivers. And it's probably one of the best articles written because he really tapped into what riders and drivers experience. And it was a sort of like a black or white. There were no gray clouds. He just cut to the chase. He cut through all the bullshit and he says, this is what riders are experiencing. This is what drivers are going through. No matter how the companies try to spin it or try to tell you, oh, this is what the riders experiencing, or this is what the drivers. The bottom line is, I think we, the drivers, know the real story. And the real story is what Len Sherman, the writer of this article, is able to connect to. I think he has a fantastic ability to connect with real humans, with real gig workers, and come from the truth, speaking the truth, speaking the facts, right? And many of these truths are unfortunately a little bit too inconvenient for Uber, DoorDash, and they then start spinning them into a different direction. Reality Within, I like that. Reality Within, great channel there. Teresa's in the house. So Freddie Adams is in the house. So here it goes. He said that he wrote this article for Forbes. 3 key findings emerged based on an analysis of 2 large-scale database capturing prices and driver pay records on millions of Uber trips. So he doesn't base his knowledge or his article on 10 or 100 trips. No, it's based on millions of trips, right? Saeed says, man, I really want you to be a CEO for Uber. I don't know if I wanted to take on that role. Charles David, thank you, my brother. Appreciate it. So we're gonna talk about some facts here, and I know Derek Khosrowshahi, right? I think I even have his mask. I love ripping this guy off, right? Because he's a joke. Yeah. Look at the guy that does not want to hear the inconvenient truth. Should I introduce you to him? Yes. Let me introduce you to the guy that does not want to hear the inconvenient truth. My name is Derek Khosrowshahi. It's 95 degrees outside here in California, and shit, what is the right professor doing again? Oh my God, he's exposing all my shenanigans. And Leah, oh my God, Len Sherman, are you writing another article about me? Please stop. Please stop talking about the truth, Len Sherman. Please, I cannot take the truth. I love spinning lies and misinformation in the media. That's who I am. That's how I roll. Derek Khosrowshahi in the house. But hell no, Len Sherman, get out of here, man. Stop your article. Stop writing about me. Right here, Professor. Stop doing live streams about me, please. Well, I'm sorry, Derek Khosrowshahi. That's just how we roll. And Dara, I hate to say it, but I think we're going to be back at your headquarters soon with more protests and strikes, and we're going to be calling you out. The Inconvenient Truths, Dara Khosrowshahi. You need to hear them. You need to experience them. So, my friends, number one, under CEO Dara Khosrowshahi's leadership, Uber has sharply raised US rideshare prices far faster than the rate of inflation. Right? Fact. It's fact. We're talking facts here. While Khosrowshahi acknowledges that Uber's prices have increased, he has suggested that Uber is just following general inflation trends, telling Wired's Stephen Levy everything is more expensive. Inflation has become a part of our everyday life. Oh, and that is our excuse to rip off riders. That is our everyday excuse to rip off riders and drivers. But what Khosrowshahi didn't say is what Uber began sharply raising the company's US rideshare prices shortly after he joined the company as a CEO in late 2017, when inflation was relatively low and outpaced the CPI over the next 4 years, during which annual inflation averaged below 2%. Now, the cool thing is, these graphs, you might not visually be able to see them in the video. I jumped straight into a live feed that should have been horizontal, but unfortunately they pushed me back into the vertical. So the way we study these graphs is easy. I put a link in the description below, right? Vasilios, we got you reactivated. Awesome. I love it. Josh is in the house. Top of the morning. Tula is in the house. I need to come and visit Tula in San Francisco. Good friend. So these graphs, these trends, these numbers are all, or will be put, or can be read in the link that I place in the description below. And the website is called medium.com. The author, our good friend Len Sherman, that has exposed Dara Khosrowshahi and many of these gig companies before. And like I said before, they tried to shut him down. They tried to muzzle him. They tried to shut him down through the attorneys. But Forbes and Len Sherman fought back, and all the information, all the inconvenient information came out. And then Dara's like, oh, he's fucking spinning around. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Len Sherman is exposing me again, right, with my pants down. Israel's in the house. Good evening. Harris Pro is in the house. I have no interest in the story of your account. Okay, that says Harris Pro. I have no interest in the story of your account. Abila Shahu, why Uber didn't shift his business model from commission-based to subscription business model. What do you think? That's another good video, my friend. Right now, we're talking about the inconvenient truths. Number two, since launching new business policies in the US in 2022, Uber drivers' pay has sharply declined. Let me say that again. Since launching the new business policies in the United States in 2022, Uber's driver pay, that's us by the way, right, the drivers, has sharply declined. Again, Len Sherman, thank you for speaking the truth. Robin Cartwright's in the house. Vartan is in the house. Hawaii trip was epic. Came back with a bit of a tan, but man, I'm exhausted. We did so much zip lining, diving, snorkeling, this waterfall, that waterfall, white sand beaches, black sand beaches, green sand beaches, hikes, dinners, lunches, breakfast, rental cars, airports, luggage, baggage. I'm exhausted, bro. I come back exhausted. I literally slept the whole first day. So for most of its history, Uber guaranteed drivers a minimum base fare. Following the century-old taxi pricing practice of calculating base pay on established per mile and per minute rates, right? That's actually the way it's supposed to be, per mile, per minutes. But 2 years ago, Uber switched to a new pay model, right? Like Uber and Lyft trying out new things, pilot programs, hamster wheel programs. Did I recharge on my vacation? I believe I did. I mean, I got a lot of business done. I got a lot of fun done. Believe me, we had a ton of fun. We had an amazing Airbnb right on the beach. I mean, it was amazing. Everyone had their own room. You could literally, we had rented surfboards. You could walk straight across the road and bam, you're in the Hawaiian waters surfing or boogie boarding. And every day, morning to night, my wife, she's a planner. She's like, bam, bam, bam. We're doing this today. I'm like, oh my God. She's been driving clients all the time. I have to drive family all the time. So again, for most of its history, Uber guaranteed drivers a minimum base fare following the century-old taxi pricing practice of calculating base pay on established per mile and per minute rates. But 2 years ago, Uber switched to a new pay model. Upfront fares, nightmare, plus destination, UFD, giving Uber complete discretionary control over how its opaque algorithms determine driver pay. At about the same time, Uber also introduced Trip Radar, right? Upfront and Trip Radar. Oh my God. Terrible. Terrible. Lahaina. Hawaii is always fun. Anybody been there to Hawaii? Dan the driving man. Look who's there, buddy. Dan the driving man. Good friend. Tula, good friend. James Edwards in the house. Working Bum says, I only DoorDash now. I don't know how Uber has any drivers. Working Bum, that is a true statement. How can drivers survive on UberX at the moment? I invited a driver down at LAX for coffee this morning, right? We're in front of Starbucks and we chatted. I love stopping, talking, taking selfies with drivers and chatting with them. Hey, do you want a coffee or you want a meal? And Manny is like, dude, I cannot make it. He was in Temecula, California. He comes out here to drive. He's like, dude, I cannot make it work. What I'm stressing. What do I do? So we sat down. We looked at a few things. We addressed a few things, and I think it was a very rewarding conversation for both. I learned a lot about him. He learned a lot about me. Biblical truth and opposing error. Give info. Stop filibuster with your vacations and stories. This is my channel, by the way. And this guy says stop with your vacation and stories. My message to you, biblical truth, GFY, you know what that stands for? Go F-U-C-K yourself, right? I don't get spoken to like that. I determine how this live stream goes, not you. So I'm going to say good night, biblical truth. We wish you a wonderful, wonderful life. And I just remove the idiot. Boom. Goodbye. Adios. So it's easy. I don't take shit from anyone. I can tell you that. The guy in Philadelphia is going to find out very soon, right? He unfortunately came across the wrong guy. Let's just put it that way. So time will tell, but that will be resolved. And by the way, I have a lot of followers in Philadelphia. I love the Philadelphia crowd. But there's one guy I'll probably be making a video soon with his picture. And I want to know everything. I want to know where he works, if he even works for Uber and Lyft. We'll see, right? But we're going to find the guy. And then action will be taken. So, King Will, what is wrong with people got to comment on other people's channels? No, I mean, you can comment, but I do the talking here, right? I am talking about an article and my story, so I'm not going to be interrupted. Very, very simple. Where's who? $20. Throw it down. Thank you. Anyone? Yeah, I mean, super generous of you. Greatly appreciated. Where's who? That's very, very kind of you. I'm going to put that towards gas. Any donation is appreciated. Obviously, we're using our time here trying to highlight issues and talk about real things here. So for most of its history, Uber guaranteed drivers a minimum base fare following the century-old taxi pricing practice of calculating base pay on established per mile and per minute rides. But 2 years ago, Uber switched to a new pay model, upfront fares plus destination, giving Uber complete discretionary control over how its opaque algorithms determine driver pay. At about the same time, Uber also introduced Trip Radar. Uber's former practice of guaranteeing minimum driver pay for every trip was this replaced by a policy where Uber now only has to pay the minimum any driver will accept for each trip. I mean, talk about laser focus here by Len Sherman, right? This policy shift has proven to be highly effective in reducing driver earnings. By far, Uber's biggest factor cost, given two additional factors decidedly in Uber's favor, namely, number one, artificial intelligence. We'll talk about that. Couple of shout outs here quickly. Light of My Life is in the house. Welcome. Anybody watch the closing games of the Olympics? Anybody see Tom Cruise? What he did right there at the end? How he brought the story to LA? 2028, LA, baby, Olympic Games. So, number one, artificial intelligence. Given its market dominance, Uber knows more about customer and driver behavior than any other company, right? Because they gather every little bit of information on our whereabouts, on our actions. They capture everything. Another racist here. No, sorry, you can't. Let me just remove that. I don't tolerate that. And there we go. Sorry. People want to make racist comments. He said, "Can I say no? You can't." Uber knows more about customer and driver behavior than any other company, and is in the best position to utilize sophisticated AI technology to exploit price discrimination on both sides of its marketplace. In essence, Uber's asymmetric information advantage gives the company the flexibility and the ability to maximize its profit margin. The difference between rider price and driver pay, commonly called the take rate. Now, I also think that if you look at AI, artificial intelligence, that Uber or Lyft have built in, it's almost like a slot machine, right? A slot machine in a casino works a certain way. It creates this addiction. I almost want to say that the AI, the programming of these algorithms creates a certain addiction. And once you're hooked, it's really, really difficult. So he said, where's who says, I met Tom Cruise. How was he? In St. Louis, Missouri in the 80s. Awesome. Seems like quite a character. Israel says the industry is going to change in October with Elon and robotaxis. There's going to be a big shakeup. No doubt about it. Rick is in the house. Where's who says I have 7,117 total rides and deliveries. Please feel free to share your total rides and deliveries. It's cool. It's always good to get feedback from drivers, like how long have you been in the game? How many trips have you done? How many deliveries have you done? What platform do you drive in? What city you drive in? Right? We learn from each other. So number two, a robust driver supply. Now, number two, let me just address this, a robust driver supply. So Uber and Lyft both say, oh, we don't have any shortage of drivers. In fact, in their Q2 report, Uber said we had more drivers on board than ever before. What did Lyft say? The same. We had more drivers on board than ever the same. Now, my question to you is very simple. If I see the earnings decline, do you think I'm going to refer a friend or say, hey, dude, this is a great job, right? You can make X amount per hour. It's great. If things were great, I'm sure you want to tell your buddy about it. I'm sure you want to tell your friend about it. I'm sure you want to tell him or her about it, right? And then you bring in people into the system and you say, you know, come make what I'm making. I don't think that drivers are referring drivers these days. I really don't. So where are these drivers coming from? Well, my guess is a lot of third parties that are not even drivers, that have fake accounts, are renting them out to people that don't even have a social security number or don't even have maybe the knowledge of speaking English. Maybe they got in illegally. I don't know. But like, where are all these new driver accounts coming from? Where are they coming from? Gregory Rasputin says, we are living in end times and it's time to repent to Jesus. Okay, nice religious message there. Thank you for sharing. John's kryptonite, Satan. Satan. No, it's not spelt like that. It's actually Satan. But Satan. Satan says. Oh yeah, I mean, says, is Uber allowing taxis to get Uber app orders? I mean, the taxis are on the platform. I'm not sure if they're getting food delivery orders, but they certainly Uber taxis that are onboarding or that have onboarded in New York. I mean, they're literally competing with us, with Uber rideshare drivers on the same platform, because once upon a time, and I'm talking here Travis Kalanick times, when the company was founded, the message was, we will destroy the shuttles, we will destroy the taxi service, we will dominate. And they spent billions and billions and billions trying to drive these taxi organizations and associations out. They did not succeed. When Derek came in, he changed the direction. He said, let's get into bed. I want to get into bed with taxi associations. So the original model was to dry them out, to totally destroy that industry so that they could dominate. But that didn't work. That backfired. And now they're in bed with them. I mean, you literally, Dara Khosrowshahi is snuggling up with some taxi association leader in New York. That's a fact. They're in bed together. I don't know what they do in bed together, but they are in bed together. Al Capone's in the house. Are you in Chicago? So the financial hardship of a growing precariat labor pool boosted by elevated immigration, has fueled strong supply growth and downward pressure on driver pay. A growing number of drivers find themselves trapped in what venture capitalist Albert Wenger describes as a vicious job loop, working ever harder to overcome their precarious financial condition, leaving no time to build new skills or search for employment, offering higher or more reliable pay. Very, very well written, by the way. Gridwise, a gig worker data services company that tracks customer price and driver pay records, right? Always good to compare those two. What did you pay for the trip? This is what I received. So it's pretty much talking about that. Gridwise tracks customer price and driver pay records on millions of rideshare and delivery trips. Reported that Uber's average monthly driver earnings in 2023 declined by 15%, 17% year on year. A uniquely steep pay cut compared to its gig company competitors Lyft, DoorDash, Instacart, and Grubhub. Right, so what he's saying here is that the biggest pay cut, 17% year over year, came from Uber. And drivers can confirm that. Jonathan's in the house. Thomas Robertson's in the house. Reality Within is in the house. Paul Figueroa. Guten Abend, mein Freund Thorsten. Good evening, my friend Paul. Shout out to San Diego. This guy is one of my faves, Paul. I love Paul Figueroa. He is an amazing human being, an amazing father, smart driver. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a shout out to Paul Figueroa from San Diego. I look forward getting together with you and Thomas Gibson and having another wonderful seafood dinner on Pacific Beach, maybe, or Mission Beach. Let's do it. Great guy. Good friend. And the funny thing is I've bumped, like if I'm in San Diego at a concert, who do I bump into? Paul Figueroa. If I'm in San Diego working somewhere, who do I bump into? Thomas Gibson, right? When they're up here in LA, who do I bump into? Same guys. So we are survivors. You're right. It's true. I mean, and think of it. I mean, that's a true statement. Where's who says we are survivors? We are, because we always figure, we like chameleons. We always change our colors. We always adapt. We always see the bullshit that's coming our way from Uber and Lyft. And we like morph and we duck and we dive. Any bullshit straight past us, right? Anything good we grab, or we figure something out, or we cherry pick, right? So we are constantly adapting to the bullshit and surviving, right? It's like the game of Survivor, to figure out ways how to stay in the game and make money. So the change in average driver monthly earnings, 2022 to 2023, that graph, by the way, again, is going to be in the link below. Check it out. Uber's pay cuts are all the more notable given that US employee wages grew considerably faster than inflation in 2023, while Uber's pay cuts come despite even higher inflation in vehicle ownership and operating costs. In short, Uber's recent changes in pay policies and business practices have been extremely harmful to drivers. Let me thank you, Len Sherman, for speaking the truth. Again, thank you, Len Sherman, for speaking the truth, because Uber's recent changes in pay policies and business practices have been extremely harmful to drivers. And that is someone in the media, able, an educated man, looking at the data, speaking to experts, writing about the inconvenient truths that Dara Khosrowshahi doesn't want to listen to, right? Yeah, Dara? Do you want to hear the inconvenient truths? Oh, no, I don't want to hear those inconvenient truths. Oh, hell no. Don't talk about them, Len Sherman. Don't talk about them, Rideshare Professor. Don't talk about them, Sergio. Don't talk about them, Jeff Watts. No, no, no. Don't. Don't. Biblical truth and opposing error. My pay cut for Uber Eats is about 40 to 45%. That's a lot. Was 350 to 400 a day, now 180 to 220 a day, doing 10-hour shifts. That is the fact. That is the truth, right? Appreciate that. Very kind of you. Exactly. Let us scam drivers in peace. That's probably Uber's logo. But ladies and gentlemen, honestly, you got to show them who's the boss, right? You got to show Uber who's the boss. You don't want to treat me like an independent contractor? Well, I'm going to change my ways to show you who's the boss, right? And whether it's you starting up your own ride-sharing service, whether it's you starting up your own fleet or your own food delivery, you quickly, as a smart driver, figure out how to circumvent the bullshit and survive in this brutal Snoop Dogg world. And by the way, who loves the job that Snoop Dogg did in Paris? I think he's been hilarious. I mean, I think he's making a few $1 million a week being in Paris, but he's having the time of his life, and he is funny, whether Snoop Dogg is in the pool, whether he's in his equestrian dress. I mean, he's brought a whole level of happiness and funny commentary to the Olympic Games. Swiss cheese is in the house. And now I'm getting hungry. Don't say Swiss cheese. I love Swiss cheese. Tula says, gone are the days of 400 to 500 unless we drive private. Thank you. Amen. Lucinda says Orange County, which is, I was in Orange County today. In the house, I used to make 200 every Friday. Now I'm lucky if I make 100. So your earnings went down 50%, right? And you working 1 to 8 p.m., 7-hour shift. Wow. Michael Armstrong. Can an AI be punished for unaliving humans? How would that occur? That's a pretty deep question. Chinchilla is in the house. Recovery is going well, my friend. Recovery is strong. Thank you for asking. Where's who? Thank you. So, change in employee wages versus Uber driver earnings. That graph is in the article. Check it out below. Number 3, the combination of elevated prices and driver cuts, right? Think of it this way. Here are the prices, the rider prices. Here is the driver's pay. Let's put them on an even field. Now, what he says in number 3, the combination of elevated prices, right? Here's the prices going up, and driver pay cuts, which means that's going down. See what's happening? The margin, their profit margin. Look at their profit margin. Look at their take rate. Every year, year over year, take rate higher, take rate higher. This margin is going only one way, in their favor. Joa Mahani in the house. Welcome. Mookie's in the house. Mahida. Abstract Echo, Jimmy is in the house. Whipbanger's in the house. Good evening. Welcome. So the combination of elevated prices, driver pay cuts enabled Uber to achieve a take rate of 40% in Q3. 40% or higher. To quantify just how potent Uber's AI-driven algorithmic pricing and pay policies have been to the company's bottom line, I estimated that Uber's take rate, a term widely understood. We understand what take rate means, right? It's what you take home, my friends. It's what that guy pays you or pays Uber to get in your car. It's what Uber pays you to take that person from A to B. When you look at the difference, what did he or she pay? What did I receive? It's the take rate. And what he's saying, to quantify just how potent Uber's AI-driven algorithmic pricing and pay policies have been to the company's bottom line, I estimated that Uber's take rate, a term widely understood in the rideshare community, totally right, to be the percent difference between rider price and driver pay. Let me say that again, right? A term widely understood in the rideshare community, talking about us drivers, right? To be the percent difference between rider price and driver pay, spiked to 40% by Q3 2023, an increase over 4 percentage points year over year, boosting the company's annual operating cash flow by billions of dollars that at the driver's expense. At the driver's expense. Louise in the house, thank you. Floor's in the house. Got 104 people in the house. If you can, we have 32 likes. These likes, if you can smash that like button, right? If you like money, hit the like button. If you like money like me, hit the like button. If you like cash like me, hit the like button, right? If you think that Dara Khosrowshahi is a total arsehole, hit the like button. Again, if you think that David Risher is a complete arsehole, hit the like button. If you think that Tony Zhu is an MF, a total MF, a total fool, a total con, a total thief, hit the like button. Right? Very, very simple. Hit that like button. Florida in the house. Cassie's in the house. Crucify. Wolfie says, no. Dude, did you learn to say the word no? No is negative. So, trends in Uber US price, trip, pay, trip, and take rates. Interesting graph. Go study it. Link below. Hit that like button. Thank you. So, yeah, we got a nice little, yeah. Damn, dude, you crucify Wolfie has learned 2 words, no and yes, which is a good start. There's a couple of million other words you need to learn, but I'm glad that you're making good use of them, of those 2 words, yes and no. Uber's response, my Forbes article detailed my sources and methods, right? He drew from credible sources and methods, right? And invited Uber to correct any disputed facts. Uber responded by strenuously disputing my findings in emails and phone calls. Company spokesman called my article irresponsibly wrong. Why do you think Uber called the article irresponsibly wrong? Because he outed them. He hung them in the open on the line for the world to see all the bullshit that Dara Khosrowshahi created. Right? Soon afterward, Uber Senior's Vice President of Mobility and Business Operations, Andrew McDonald, weighed in, posting the following tweet. Over the years, a lot of ink was spilled, claiming that Uber could never be profitable. That was wrong. And now some have a view that our recent profits must have come at drivers' expense. That's wrong too. No, Andrew McDonald, it's the truth, right? It's the inconvenient truth that you do not want to hear. You did not want to hear Len Sherman's words. You did not want to read that article. So what do? They send their little henchmen. They send their little trolls like Andrew McDonald, who is a total arsehole working against drivers. He really is. McDonald's tweet linked to an Uber blog post contesting my findings, Len Sherman's findings, without providing specific counterfactual data, right? Do you think that Andrew McDonald, who works at Uber, supplied any counterfacts? No. Just did this dumb tweet and thinking, oh, what I say is the truth. So McDonald's tweet linked to an Uber blog post contesting my findings without providing specific counterfactual data and sidestepping my key finding on take rates by rejecting my definition of the term as summarized below. Number 1, Uber's price increases. I love that. Zed said, decline, garbage. That means screw the algorithm, cherry pick. In fact, let's light up the screen and send Dara and Andrew McDonald a message. We love cherries. Just light it up with cherries. Light it all up with cherries. Cherry pickers. So Uber's blog stated, yes, prices have gone up significantly over the last few years. Uber is an open marketplace, which means that prices tend to reflect broader economic conditions as well as the balance of supply and demand for rides. However, the company did not provide any data on its US rideshare pricing trends or comment on my finding that Uber's price hike significantly outpaced CPI growth during the first 4 years of Khosrowshahi's leadership and have remained relatively high since. Amen. Thank you, Len Sherman. Biblical Truth says, get your own business cards and steal from Uber's customers. I teach you the real way at Gig Rock, at the private chauffeur course, to do exactly that. How to convert Uber and Lyft drivers into your own private clients without losing your Uber and Lyft account. Right? So number 2, Uber's driver pay cuts. In my article, I specifically focused on Uber's driver pay cuts following the company's launch of new driver pay policies, i.e., the period from Q1 2022 through Q3 2023. Yet Uber's rebuttal only asked and answered a contextually irrelevant question. Didn't Uber cut driver pay? No. In the United States, median driver earnings per utilized hour, including trips and incentives, have grown nearly 30% over the last 6 years, faster than inflation. Uber's commentary ignored the figure that included in its blog post confirming my findings that US driver pay declined significantly between 2022 and 2023. Look at the graph. Asaf from the high desert says, I stopped driving since January. Tell us what you've been doing since January. That's my follow-up question. Sammy says, Uber offered me $5.46 for a ride. Customer was my coworker. He paid $16.40. So you're getting less than 30%, right? And it's good that you have a coworker that's going to actually share his pay with you. So you say, well, I paid $16.40. Oh my God, I received $5.46. There we go. Look at the take rate. Numbers don't lie, Koshashawi. Numbers don't lie, Andrew McDonald. Numbers don't lie, Derek Koshashawi. Numbers don't lie, Andrew McDonald. You don't like hearing the inconvenient truth, do you, Derek Koshashawi? Right? We're speaking about the truth here. We are sharing real findings from Len Sherman. Thank you, Len. Boom! June Boyer. Uber offered me 28 going from Tampa to Orlando. I wonder how much the rider paid for that. I'll guarantee you the rider paid about close onto 100 for that trip. Right? Number 3, Uber's take rate. Or Uber's take rates. Uber's blog presented an accounting explanation of why the widely understood and used meaning of take rate, the percent difference between rider price and driver pay, is inappropriate. Why is it inappropriate? It is what it is. That's what it is. It's the take rate. To the confusion of many readers, including myself, Uber argued that if you were to subtract out all of our insurance costs from Uber's US mobility revenue, you would be left with well under 20% of the total fare. In essence, Uber was saying the company is only willing, this is the inconvenient truth, right? So in essence, Uber was saying the company is only willing to talk about take rates after, ladies and gentlemen, after deducting its insurance costs and other bullshit pass-throughs and booking fees. But the inconvenient truth is drivers too are experiencing sharping rising insurance and maintenance costs, but are being left with a smaller slice of the pie to deal with. So don't come and preach to us, David Risher. Please stop this bullshit that drivers are earning 70. Thank you, Bezu. Drivers are earning 70%. Oh, by the way, after all the external fees that we are stealing from you, right? That is the inconvenient truth, right? Oh, they don't want to talk about that. All the other bullshit that they are scamming you and stealing you, toll shaving, tip baiting, tip shaving, tip stealing. F them all. John Kirby. Well, Chinchilla says it's insulting to give me $67 to drive 114 miles in about 2 hours. That ride is instant decline. Amen. Thank you. Decline. John Kirby, UberXL, drove 18 miles for a $4.16 ride. What the heck? Uber didn't give me a long time to give me a long pickup fee. Asaf from High Desert, I'm not in the business of financing Uber. So many hours, so little revenue. Amen. Rick Cohen, been driving for Tampa for 7 years. Both Uber and Lyft, 20,000 trips. Started at 70% take rate, now down to 50%. Economy hurting things. Now as more drivers entering the market and a second job to help get by. That's reality. Rick is telling it as it is. Mookie says, once upon a lifetime, all of us was in chains, homies still double down, calling us some slaves. Cassie says, bizarre. 98th Avenue by I-95 in Vero Beach, dead end street with fence padlocked. Rider showing up, pinged on the highway, declined. I like that one. So In essence, Uber was saying the company is only willing to talk about take rates after deducting its insurance costs and other pass-throughs and booking fees. But the inconvenient truth is that drivers too are experiencing sharply rising insurance and maintenance costs, but are being left with a smaller slice of the pie to deal with them. Here's how one of Uber's best earning drivers in Massachusetts responded to Andrew McDonald's redefinition of take rates. Right, this is a driver from Massachusetts schooling Andrew McDonald. The sleight of hand employed by Uber and Mr. McDonald looks like a clever attempt to disguise their actual take rate and demonstrates the lack of respect they have for drivers. The lack of respect they have for drivers. Look this guy up, Boston Drives. Hit him up on Twitter. Befriend him. He is speaking the truth. What they're doing is comparing Uber's net take profit to drivers' gross take. They insist that they're left with is small compared to what they give drivers, but what drivers are left with after their costs is a much different thing. Again, let me repeat this. What they are doing is comparing Uber's net take rate to the driver's gross take rate. They insist what they're left with is small compared to what they give drivers, but what drivers are left with after their costs is much different thing. Got to compare apples to apples, net to net, gross to gross. Can't have it both ways, Andrew McDonald. Please stop disrespecting drivers' intelligence. I'm going to say this 5 times. Please stop disrespecting drivers' intelligence. 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 Please stop disrespecting drivers' intelligence and misleading investors, passengers, and the press. Amen. Damn, dagger to the heart. Right? He stuck it to him. Another response came from Harry Campbell, owner and founder of the Rideshare Guy, good friend of mine, media company followed by hundreds of thousands of gig workers. Harry Campbell said, main area I disagree is that Uber only got profitable in the last year or two, and as the graph shows, drivers' hourly earnings during active time is down, guessing less incentives as Dara has stated. So doesn't that mean Uber's take rate has to have increased, passenger prices going up, driver pay going down, Uber take rate goes up? Simple math, right? I just care about 3 numbers over time, and I think most drivers have same POV, total amount paid by passenger. What did the Uber driver keep? Well, what did Uber keep and what did the drivers keep? Let's start from there and we can chop up things like insurance, service fees, etc. after that. Very well said. Orlando Milan in the house. Guys, we have 112 people. Hit that like button if you like cash. Hit that like button if you like cash. Hit that like button if you think that Dara is an arsehole. Just hit that like button. Hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it. Will Coleman, a former McKinsey transportation industry partner and current CEO of a competing ride-hail company, echo drivers' sentiments. Why not just share the actual US take rate instead of using sleight of the hand to change the definition mid-article? Clearly, take rate is Uber's service fee. If nothing to hide, why keep hiding it? Right? There it is. Lookview says, Dara admitted on some money show the other day, Uber knows they can squeeze harder when labor market cools. Interesting. Am I from South Africa? No, I'm born in the United States. I'm born in the Washington, D.C., and I grew up I did my schooling in South Africa. I did my education in Europe. That's my answer to you, Catmull. June Boy is in the house. Uber shut me down because of ratings. I had to pay $65 to have my account turned back on. That's the next scam that, I mean, you can pay for reactivation services, which includes suing the company and actually making $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. But what they're doing now, your ratings are down. If you want your ratings to go back high, pay us $65. So when asked for additional comments and data to strengthen their prior response to my research findings, an Uber spokesman said, we've said again and again that local governments have increasingly taxed rideshare trips, and the cost of auto insurance has risen dramatically in recent years, Uber's global mobility take rate remains flat, and as included in our earnings report on Tuesday, is 23.4% down from 23.7 in Q1. I recognize you like us to break out that number just for the United States, but that's how we report our financials. For the record, Uber no longer refers to take rates in its earning reports. They leave that out. They leave the word take rates out, right? Tula lights it up with cherries. So, for the record, Uber no longer refers to take rates in its earnings reports, having changed the term previously used to revenue margin, or now they call it revenue margin. Starting in Q3 2023, Uber's reported global mobility revenue margin of 23.4% for Q2 2024, adjusted for accounting changes across in several countries outside the United States, was more than 2% points higher than the prior year. Uber has also previously acknowledged that its US take rate is higher in the US than its global average. So the take rate for Uber, what they're taking from drivers, is higher than the international driver take rate. Donovan says in Massachusetts, Uber signed a deal for $32.50 active hour drive. Is that a great deal? City bus driver starts at $30 per hour, plus benefits. Anybody from Massachusetts want to comment on your numbers? Nal is in the house. Uber is not what it seems from what I hear. You're absolutely right. Tom G is in the house. On Uber Eats, they think paying people $3 to pick up pharmacy prescription orders is fair. Yeah, fair. Yeah, fair. Fair, Uber, you think that's fair? No, it ain't. Somebody just threw down $5. That was Apocalypse. God, man, I'm having difficulties on type. Apocalypse Survivor. Damn, you have a difficult name there, but I like it. $5. Thanks for all you do. Thank you for your $5 donation, which is going to go straight into my gas tank, which is exactly $1 of gas. Right, the $5 here is that's also what I paid in Hawaii, by the way. I paid $5.03, $5.06 for regular. I put it in a minivan in Hawaii last week. So protecting Uber's source of newfound profitability, it's not coincidence that Uber's cash flow jumped in 2023 and again in the first 2 quarters of 2024. Uber had fully implemented recent pricing and driver pay policies. Uber's success is critically... Erika the cabbie's in the house. Uber had fully implemented recent pricing and driver pay policies. Uber's success is critically dependent on exploiting its asymmetric information advantage over riders and drivers. As Mr. Koshashawi explained in an interview with Kara Swisher in October, we use AI when you get quoted a price for an Uber, when a driver gets an offer for a particular ride, when we route you, when we open up Uber Eats, all of it's powered by AI. So AI is intermingled and every single part of our service at this point. And these algorithms are superior to the technology we had 5 to 10 years ago, because they learn a skill, a personalized way. It's pretty powerful tech there that F's you over. That's what it's about. Right? Why don't speak the truth? The inconvenient truth, Derek Shoshawi. And during Uber's Q4 earnings call in February 2024, when asked specifically about Uber's upfront fares, Mr. Koshashawi again said the quiet part of out loud about the company's ability to maximize its take rate on every trip. I think we can do better. It's targeting different trips to different drivers based on their preferences or based on behavioral patterns that they are showing us. That is really the focus going forward, offering the right trip at the right price to the right driver, which means use AI to maximize our profits and screw over riders and drivers. Plain English. Plain English. Plain English is a little difficult because he likes to muddy the waters. Derek Khosrowshahi likes to do this.
Oh, come on now. That ain't even bullshit. That's horse shit.
He likes it. No, it's not even bullshit. It's horse shit that Derek Khosrowshahi is talking about. Uber's financially savvy ex-investment banker CEO is undoubtedly aware of the company's profit drivers, but it's understandably reluctant to openly discuss the strategic leverage his company wields, namely the extent to which high sustained rider prices and substantial driver pay cuts have generated billions of dollars of additional operating cash flow. Now, this is a long ass article, which I'm going to go through step by step, right? And then I'm also going to call out your messages that you put here, your comments. But at the end of this article, once I add the description, I'm also going to add the link of this article. And I would ask you to get this video and that link, that Len Sherman link out. Let's get it out on Twitter. Let's get it out on Facebook. Let Derek Khosrowshahi face the inconvenient truth. He does not want to talk about the truth. He does not want to talk about the facts. He doesn't want to talk about the real world. He prefers to muddy the waters, right? He prefers AI to do his dirty work. AI will do my dirty work. AI will go out and screw you over and make me more money. So let's get that all out. You would think that their parents raised them better than this. You're absolutely right. Light of my life. This may explain why Uber pushed back so hard on the findings in my Forbes article. They pushed back so hard. And I know that feeling, Len Sherman, because I was talking to editors and journalists interviewing me for certain articles in Chicago, and when these journalists sent their findings or their interview with me over to Uber or Lyft, Uber responded with attorneys. You cannot publish that. They did not allow me to talk about the bait and switch and the fraud and the research I did when it came to Uber and Lyft screwing drivers over on the referral money, on the referral bonuses when one driver refers another driver. They were effing both sides, the referring driver and the new driver. And I did articles, I did interviews with different newspapers, but what did Uber do? The same that they did with Len Sherman. They sent their legal attack dogs on Forbes and said, Len Sherman cannot put that out. San Francisco Chronicle, San Francisco newspapers cannot put that interview out with Rideshare Professor because they were afraid of the truth. And when they're afraid of the inconvenient truth, they ascend their attack dogs. Well, Forbes had the money to fight back. Forbes ran his article and embarrassed Derek Khosrowshahi, literally undressed Derek Khosrowshahi. Derek Khosrowshahi was running around in San Francisco with pink Victoria's Secret G-strings after Len Sherman undressed him. What's up, Lorenzo Davis in the house? Jairo Giraldo in the house. X says, how do you know if I'm gay? I don't know. Maybe you are. Maybe you're not. I really don't care. You want to come out in this video? Do you want to tell the world? I'm fine. Whichever way you swing, bro. That's up to you. 119 people in the house, 62 likes. If you like dollars like I do, hit the like button. Hit the like button. We're on 62. We got to get this over 100, right? If you think that David Risher is an arsehole, hit the like button. Hit the like button above. So, carefully crafting what data the company is willing to disclose in its largest country market, making it difficult to access even the most basic measures of Uber's operations and financial performance, e.g. number of trips, prices, driver pay trends, rider wait times, driver utilization, acceptance rates. Number two, except for selective talking points that the CEO shares in podcast appearances, and quarterly earnings call designed to show the company in the best possible light, e.g., US average driver earnings of $33 per active hour, reported US take rates of 15%, changing the definitions of commonly used metrics, most notably take rates, which Uber now calculates only after excluding opaque commercial insurance expenses and booking fees, is the truth, right? They don't like to hear this. Number 4, threatening to suspend operations in cities proposing to require additional information disclosure. Number 5, repeatedly dismissing the validity of independent studies of company operations that of necessity must rely on third-party data sources, but without providing specific counterfactual evidence. Wow, he's like, take this, motherfucker. Take this, MF. Take this, MF. Number 6, actively blocking third-party apps from offering consumers and drivers valued information on competitive ride-hailing prices and pay rates. They did that to my friends in Brazil. They tried to shut them down in the courts. My Brazilian friends fought back and they won. They want to silence you. They want to shut you up. Thwarting attempts to help level the playing field against Uber's asymmetric information advantages. Anti-competitive terms of service. Next article. We're on 75. I know we can get it to 100. This is live. Yes, it is live. Hi, how are you? And his name is Oloxia. Nice. Peter Thornton from Chicago in the house. Michael Burke says, please spare us. Please spare us. Abhilash Sahu, can you give the article link? Absolutely. After I'm done with the live feed, I'm going to put the link in. Adam, 2 thumbs up. Thank you, sir. Jose Reyes in the house. Where's who in the house? Smash that like button. Thank you. There's a lot of people. Yeah, light it up with cherries, my friend. Light it up with them with cherries. Majesty Roberts, hi from North Korea. I don't think you're from North Korea, and the reason why I say that is because they censor most of the internet. You can't actually speak to your international friends if you live in North Korea. But if you are in North Korea, we send you much love. We really do. We send you much love. I hope everything's okay over there. Rideshare Otter from NOLA in the house. Subscribe to him. There he is. Another great reporter, great YouTuber, great Twitters. Subscribe to my friend there, Rideshare Otter. David Yacarino in the house. How are you? I don't do that many. I mean, I've been insanely busy the last few weeks, and then I was on holiday, and then I came back and really had to work on a mediation agreement with my lawyers and fair lawyers to hash a roadmap out, a game plan, because, I've spent 6 years building that company. And I want to see the money, I mean, I want to see the company make millions of dollars. I want to see the drivers make money. I want to see the drivers make that 90-10% split, right? That's why I put 6 years of work in. And that's why the good thing is in the last 30 days, thank God to very competent attorneys. They kicked the first idiot out. His name was Qureshi. He was just a trash C-grade attorney. But they brought in a really good mediator called Matthew Mahoney, who really, and I've dealt with so many mediators. This guy is good, and we talked about the goals, we talked about the roadmap of FAIR, we talked about the markets that were going to be opened up. We cleaned out a lot of the riffraff. There were a couple of ambassadors that had to go, people making threats, even death threats. So they had to go. And, so I had to get some people involved, and I had to spend some money, but it was time for some really good spring cleaning and getting the train back on the track. And I truly, truly believe that thanks to Matthew Mahoney's hard work at FAIR, the FAIR Co-op, that we got the train back on the track, and we have the same vision, and we have the same goal, and we're going to work towards that goal. But sometimes, it takes a shakeup. Sometimes you need to let people go. Sometimes you need to fire people. Sometimes you need to fire the incompetent and inarticulate ones, right? No names mentioned, but the person that I'm talking about who is on my radar, shit, I just broke my chair. He knows who he is, right? And he knows who he is. He knows I don't forget. And, he had to get fired. We kicked him out. And we're a rideshare family. We're all here together, and we got to make money, right? I'm not here to destroy a model. But what I wanted this company to understand that is if you're doing 6 years of work, you have to get going, right? You have to start delivering results. So we made some really, really good decisions together. The directors of FAIR, a small team, myself, with the help of my attorney, with the help of a couple of other people, and we got the train back on the tracks because egos aside, my ego aside, their ego aside, this is about creating jobs. This is about actually creating better opportunities and better splits, right? I am so sick and tired of this corrupt 30% driver, 70% gig company split, right? And then this lying son of a bitch, David Risher, who says, you guys make 70%. No, it's exactly the other way around, right? We make 70%, you make 30%. And that's what I'm sick and tired of. So I want to see, ladies and gentlemen, I want to see smaller companies, right? And even to the team of Fair Co-op, I've spoken to the CEO of Hover. I've had Jeff Watts talking about Hum. I want to see these small companies succeed. I want to see Rides succeed. WRIDZ. I want to see these people succeed. Why? It's very simple. Very simple. Competition. Competition is healthy. Competition is healthy. The more smaller companies that can emerge are going to take a piece of the pie away from Uber and Lyft and force Dara Khosrowshahi, force David Risher to change their corrupt ways. So I'm telling you right now, support the little guys, right? Support the little guys. Dara Khosrowshahi, do you know that concept, or you only support the big guys? Do you only support the billionaires? The African lion is coming after you. I'm coming after Dara Khosrowshahi. I'm like a lion stalking in the bush, and I'm just going to pounce on him and bite a chunk out of his neck. Anti-competitive terms of service. The last point warrants the attention of government regulators concerned with preventing dominant market leaders from exercising anti-competitive market power. Let's start by examining how Uber has sought to limit consumer access to information on competitive pricing in the ride-hailing sector. Consumers have always complained about Uber's search pricing practices, and that concern has only grown in recent years. When Uber first started, the company was open and transparent about the rationale for its pricing policies, setting fares at a base level determined by published per mile, per minute rates in each and every city, possibly adjusted by a surge multiple, e.g. 1.5x, reflecting temporarily supply and demand imbalances, right? I am all for supply and demand playing out, all for it. Antonio Kirby, my brother, in the house, loud and clear, baby. And Mookie, no political campaigning here, unfortunately, right? We're keeping it to rideshare. So I'm sorry, gonna have to remove that one. And doesn't matter whether you're Democrat or Republic. I'm not allowing my platform to whatever. So, I'm supporting this guy. This guy for president, or this one for president. No, we're talking rideshare. Let's keep it on the topic, right? Let's keep on talking about the inconvenient truth that these CEOs do not want to hear. June Boya said, Torsten, start your own rideshare and we'll come work for you. No, you're awesome. I appreciate you. Levon Francis, what is the next step in Boston with the settlement with the drivers? So yeah, so the good question. So there is a settlement, obviously, for the drivers, and once they've hashed out the numbers, Uber or Lyft have to alert you and say, look, this is what we have to credit you back, and it could be $10, could be $300, who knows? So at some point, you get a little bit of money. It's not big money, but you get a little bit of money back. Bullet Mage Gaming says, my Uber earnings have been so abysmal, I don't know why I'm still driving, to be honest. I don't know why I'm driving, to be honest. Just hoping it'll get better again. New York City rats flooding New Jersey doesn't help. So that's a really, really interesting statement. I don't know. I don't know why I'm still driving, to be honest. It could be that algorithm has created a specific addiction, right? And I'm talking to Bullet Mage Gaming, that they've created this addiction, and you're like, I'm just keeping on driving. I'm hoping it'll get better. Then they throw me a little bone, then they take it away. You get sucked in. You get sucked into this vacuum. You get sucked into this addiction. It really, my friends, it's like an addiction, right? It's like smoking addiction, sex addiction, gambling addiction, right? Rideshare addiction. The algorithm creates a certain, it's like a slot machine. I used to own 4,000 slot machines throughout Africa, most of them in South Africa. I was making 75 to 80,000 a day, ladies and gentlemen, a day. We had to get armed security guards with machine guns to take the money out daily. Printing money, no jokes, printing money. I want to make a movie about it one day. I'm talking to some people in Hollywood and making a movie about taking them to the places that I create, talk about the whole show, making a documentary about it, right? Those were the days when casino machines, you can't say illegal, there were just no licenses. So I had machines in Mozambique. I had machines in Kenya. I had machines in Namibia. I had a lot of machines in South Africa, Soweto, Khayelitsha, Gugulethu, Nyanga, in all the ghettos, in all the poorest of the poorest areas. I had 4,000 casino machines. And I tell you what, it was the most evil thing ever. And I was young, I was crazy, I was stupid, right? And I was greedy. I was greedy. And I just loved making that money each day. Each and every single day was greed. And thank God through like a divine intervention or changing your ways, or you say, hey, what I'm doing here is wrong. And it really doesn't matter. I mean, it had a 12-bedroom house on top of Cape Town Hill, cars, sports cars, Porsches, the works. But what I was doing was fundamentally wrong. I was living like a little playboy, being a little arsehole. And you got to catch yourself. You got to say, hey, listen, slow down. Wake up. What are you doing? This is crazy. You're living too fast. I mean, it's a 25-year-old living like a 50-year-old. And all I can say is, with self-growth, self-help, self-work, good education, good parents, centered, focused, back to life, back to reality. I was not living in reality. I was making too much money, living too fast, too crazy. Shootouts. I don't know. I don't know how many people I shot. I don't know how many people my security or my staff was shot. It was nuts. I was living in another world. And you got to come back to reality, right? And I mean, the bottom line is here, when you talk about reality, when Travis Kalanick started this and got billions and billions of dollars, right? Ladies and gentlemen, they were spending $200,000 on balloons for a party. On balloons! I can show you the articles. They were living the life. And then you're not living in reality anymore. Travis Kalanick and those people were living outside of reality. And I can sort of like relate to that craziness because I lived like that in my 21 to 26-year-old for 5 years. I lived in that crazy world. Too much money, too stupid, too foolish, and thank God you come back down to Mother Earth, right? And you realize, shit, wake up. And those machines, those casino machines, they were evil, they were corrupt. It was people hooked on an addiction, playing, hoping to get 777, hoping to make $10,000 or $5,000, and just pulling and pulling. And some machines, and it's an addiction. And I feel like, I mean, I can strip down a casino machine. I can put a casino machine together. I know how to put the percentages. I know how to I can take a hopper apart. I can dismantle and put any casino machine back. I went and got my training in Las Vegas. I got all my machines from Las Vegas. The Bailey's machines, the Universal machines. I had my suppliers in Vegas and Tempe, Arizona. I was getting all my machines, shipping them to Africa. And the machine was evil. It created an addiction. And this is, I think, is the closest description I'm giving you from my life to what this algorithm is. This algorithm creates the addiction. The algorithm sucks you in, right? Sucks you in. Where's who? Thank you for throwing down another. It sucks you in and it grinds you, it crunches you, it extracts, it gives you a little bit, gives you a couple of crumbs, it takes back a whole bread loaf, and it'll give you another 2 slices of toast, and it'll take away another bread loaf. They know what they're doing over there when it comes to the programming. It's that Torsten. I'm glad I'm not that Torsten anymore, right? Because that was the dangerous Torsten. Thank God I'm not that individual anymore, right? And you know, and talk about being 3 years in the army. Like, do people like to talk what happens in the army? Like, do people like to talk about that you take someone else's life? No. It creates a lot of PTSD. No, thank you. No, thank you, Army. No, thank you, wild days, 20s. Done. 5 awesome kids, amazing wife, wonderful family. That's what it's about. Enjoying your life, working hard, having ethics. So had I started a channel in my 20s, it would have been it would be a crazy channel. I could have called it the crazy channel. It was nuts. Orange County in the house. Lydia Ochoa, OC. I'm down there a lot. My clients actually have an amazing house right in Newport Beach, right on the water. And they're like, do you ever need the keys? Here they are. So I've been down there quite a bit. Thank you, Creekside. I appreciate you saying that. And it's not easy to admit that I mean, how many people admit that they were an arsehole? Right? How many people can actually admit I was a complete arsehole and a trash human being in my 20s? I can honestly say that. Right? But I also believe people can change. I do believe there's a higher power guiding you. I do believe there's someone looking out for you. And when I say looking out, ladies and gentlemen, the amount of times I was in shootouts, the amount of times I dodged the bullet, the amount of times I had other people, my staff, taking the bullet for me, people getting killed for me. I am so lucky. I paid for funerals. I went to funerals in African townships and had to lay people to rest that worked for me. That's how fucked up it was, right? I had a 21-year-old, Trevor, the sweetest, hardest worker, who got shot by a drug guy 6-7 times in my establishment, in front of me. And then the guy walks out and says, yep, I'll go to jail this weekend, but I'll see you back on Monday. And true story, the guy was arrested. He went into jail, paid the right people, and was back out on Monday peddling drugs. In the last 72 hours, he'd killed a 21-year-old. So the world is crazy. We have choices. I've realized, like from my 20s, we have choices. Which direction do I want to go? And this is why yesterday I had a run-in with someone in Philadelphia. And the guy does not want the South African in me to come out. He does not. Because I do not tolerate threats or death threats. I take action. But it's best I don't take action like I was a 20-year-old. So, you know, I got to really meditate on this one. Maybe let the authorities and that handle that. But I have all the video, all the evidence, what this guy wanted to do. And in fact, the sad thing is, the person that it affected most was actually, I can't say it too loud, but my daughter came across his message and his video. And she could not sleep last night after what she saw. And that's why I'm saying I can handle people like that. I've handled people like that before. I'm not afraid of them. But for a little teenager, they do not know how to handle that. So this is, you know, you open yourself up to that doing YouTube. It's a crazy world. There's crazies out there. That's all I can say, right? But you got to control the craziness. And I think that Uber and Lyft and these companies with out of control money, they don't want to control the craziness because they make boatloads of cash. And as long as they have the people delivering the money in wheelbarrows, they will continue. Patrick Pitt's in the house, baby. They will select that they are the only person awaiting the ride, and two people will be there awaiting the driver. They tell lies that the driver is under the influence as a way to get over. Yep, you got it. It's a racket. The Uber team. I watched a video by Rideshare. I'm sorry, we're going to get back to the inconvenient truth. We're going to get back to the article because we still have a lot to talk about. But I watched Steve from Rideshare Rodeo. I don't know if you know his podcast. They had a story called Uber Horror Story, and they were talking about the man that was trafficking a 12 and a 13-year-old, raped the 12 and the 13-year-old. And this is the problem with the platforms, that there's no control. There's no control when it comes to security and safety. And when you create a category like Uber Teen, I mean, they're not shutting it down because they're making money. But a young teenager, or 12 or 13-year-old, there's no space for them. They do not understand how this whole thing works, and they will be taken advantage of, sadly. Pretty evil if you keep on facilitating that and knowing that you could pump in $100 million into safety and security, knowing that you could do something about protecting teenagers or protecting drivers from carjackers, protecting drivers from criminals. I mean, the verification process and all this bullshit and the 911, right? Like I always say, right? You call our app 911. Ladies and gentlemen, the way you handle it is here, right? We don't dial 911. I don't dial 911. Hell no, there's no time to dial 911 if I need to act. Consumers have always complained about Uber's search pricing practices, and that concern has only grown in recent years. When Uber first started, the company was open and transparent. This is true. When Uber first started, the company was open. Do you remember those times, ladies and gentlemen? Do you remember the times when Uber was open and transparent? I remember that. Years and years and years and years ago, but I remember those times when Uber was open and transparent about the rationale for its pricing policies, setting fares at a base level determined by published per mile, per minute rates. I knew exactly what they were going to pay me to be on the black SUV platform, $4 per mile, X amount of money per minute, quick calculation, starting fare of 25. By the time the rider had driven 10, 15 miles, you were getting paid $50, $60. They were being transparent. They were paying correctly. Those were the good times. And that was under Travis Kalanick, by the way. So setting fares at a base level determined by published per mile and per minute rates in each city, possibly adjusted by a surge multiple, e.g. 1.5x, reflecting temporary supply-demand imbalances. Consumers and drivers were explicitly shown applicable search multipliers on Uber's app on each trip offer. The rider knew exactly what he or she was getting into, right? Oh, you're going to be paying 1.5. Okay, I agree to that. The driver knew exactly, what am I getting? I'm getting paid for this trip from there to there. I know the mileage, I know the minutes. Oh, there it is. That's the money I'm getting. Very transparent. Uber's stated policy was to use search pricing to dynamically balance supply and demand, returning fares to normal base levels as quickly as often as possible. Consumers may not have liked the impacts of temporary price spikes, but at least Uber's rationale and marketplace logic were clear and sound under Travis Kalanick. Not under David Risher, not under Daryl Khosrowshahi. Starting in 2016, however, Uber shifted to an upfront pricing policy whereby consumers ordering a ride was simply presented a price determined by an opaque algorithm, dropping any reference to base fares or surge multiples. Uber's pricing policies thus became less transparent, often varying widely from trip to trip, right? Contributing to an erosion of consumer trust. So true. A survey of over 1,700 rideshare consumers conducted in May 2024 by Obi, a rideshare data services company, found that the high price of rides is the number one reason consumers don't use rideshare anymore. When you outprice yourself, when you screw those riders over, when you gouge those riders, do you think they say, yeah, I'm going to bend over, I'm going to take it one more time. Yeah, give it to me one more time. Yeah, screw me over one more time, right? Screw me over one more time. Once is never enough. I like it twice in my ass. You think riders were saying that? Hell no. Ride fare transparency also ranked highly, showing a clear appetite by consumers for more transparency on how much drivers earn versus ride providers and taxes. Consumers who take the trouble to compare prices between Uber, Lyft, and other rideshare providers often find a significant difference, right? I am pretty sure every one of us has gotten into the seat as a rider. When I am driving, whether it's going from here to the airport alone, from here to the airport or back with my family, or to a restaurant, or after a restaurant after maybe a couple of vodkas, right? You're not telling me you're going to jump on Lyft and let me see what they're going to charge. Or let me see what Uber's going to charge, right? You're going to get a driver, you're going to get a car, you're going to get home, but there might be $10, $15 savings, right? I think all of us have been in that position. For example, in a research project I conducted in 2019, comparing 10,000 identical trips, this is Len Sherman, precisely the same origin, destination, time of day, in the 4 largest US rideshare markets, Uber and Lyft's prices differed by more than 16% over half the trips and by more than 25% on 1/3 of the trips. That's pretty damn astounding, right? So we have 90 people in the house. So I Love God says Uber paid me less than my earnings and tried to BS me about it. Check your statements, my friends. Good one. Patrick says there's no clear and rational reasoning behind what they Uber do with their predatory pricing. Uber will send the drivers a fare 15 miles away with a drop-off of 1.5 miles for $4.87. Thank you for telling the truth, the inconvenient truth, right? We have Select 2006 in the house. Hi, everyone. This was an amazing article and happy to contribute. Awesome. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. So, Obi, a startup launched in 2017, recognize the need and opportunity to provide a price comparison tool to rideshare customers comparable to how Expedia and Google Flights operate in the airline sector. Consumers who are willing to share their rideshare login credentials with Obi get free real-time price and travel time comparisons from competing rideshare services. Obi's app opens by asking users, where do you want to go? After entering a destination address, Obi immediately returns the prices and travel times. I don't even have that app. I need to download it. Entering a destination address, Obi immediately returns the prices and travel times for competing services ranked from best to worst. In this example, for a rideshare trip that's Len Sherman recently requested in New York, there was a considerable price difference between competing services, right? So he puts in the address, blah, 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 puts it all in, and then bam, out come the numbers. Look at that. UberX, Uber Green, Lyft Standard. Look at how much the prices differ by. Curb Taxi, Lyft Priority. Big price differences. Key Sounds is in the house. Guys, we're on 88. I'm really trying to get this to 100 likes. 89. Thank you. Hit the like button. Looks like this. Not like that. Looks like this. Hit that button, please. 89 right now. As the dominant US rideshare provider with 3 times the market share of its closest rival, Uber opposes apps providing price transparency to consumers. In fact, Uber has been threatening Obi subscribers with this is how David Darakoshawi, we will deactivate your ass as a rider if you are on Obi, right? Uber has been threatening Obi subscribers with deactivation from Uber's app, as noted in an email I recently received from Uber shortly after using Obi's price comparison tool. Uber, dear Len, Uber has logged you out of your account due to unauthorized access by a third party. To secure your account, you are required to reset your password immediately. Please also take a moment to review our terms of use to ensure you are familiar with our account sharing policies. It's important to note that continued sharing of your account information with third parties violates our terms of service. So how dare you go and talk to someone else? We want to control. Burning Lion in the house. There's Burning Lion. Listen to the Burning Lion. You want to hear the Burning Lion? That's the Burning Lion. Burning Lion in the house. Tula's in the house. Good, it made you laugh. I like it. I made you laugh. So please also take a moment to review our terms of use to ensure you are familiar with our account sharing policies. It's important to note that our continued sharing of your account information with third parties violates our terms of use. Your account security is one of our top priorities. Bullshit. Thank you. Where's Who in the house? Damian Wade is in the house. They are a joke. While Uber's terms of use do prohibit users from sharing login credentials with third parties, Obi does not share personalized trip request information with other companies or organizations, encrypts transaction data in transit, and allows users to request the data to be deleted from Obi's servers. As a point of contrast from Obi's experience, Southwest Airlines, the largest US domestic air carrier, which had previously blocked price comparison apps from listing its flights, now allows Google Flights to list its flights alongside competing airlines. My experience, along with thousands of other Obi users who have received similar deactivation warnings, don't we know that, those threats from Uber? Thank you for threatening us, Uber, but we're independent contractors. So go F yourself, right? Warrants regulatory review. The question is, should a market leader like Uber be allowed to establish terms of use under the guise of security that may be as harmful to consumers and competitors as they are helpful to the market leader? Jairo in the house. Benyam in the house. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for being here. For example, Amazon has faced legal scrutiny over a most favored nation clause in its vendor terms that dictates how much retailers can charge for their products on other platforms, harming competitors and raising consumer prices. And Apple has faced regulatory scrutiny over its App Store terms of service that sharply constrain competing app developers' business operations, payment service choice, and profitability while raising consumer prices. Uber has also flexed its market power to restrict third-party apps from providing valued information to rideshare and delivery drivers. To understand the marketplace need for driver support services, consider the stressful working conditions that drivers face on the job. I tell you what, Len Sherman, you know us, you feel us, you understand us, and that reflects in your writing, right? This man has spent so much time understanding drivers and riders, and that is why he brings these quality articles that Uber hates, that Lyft hates. They do not like hearing the inconvenient truth. If you like the article, if you like the article as much as I do, hit the like button. If you like money as much as I do, hit the like button. If you think that Dara Khosrowshahi is an arsehole, hit the like button. We're on 102. I appreciate you all. So, in most cities, for each trip offered on Uber's app, drivers are shown, right? Drivers are shown the rider's destination, payment amount, and the predicted trip time and distance, including to the pickup point. So far, so good, but drivers have only seconds to respond, and it's dangerous, right? We have seconds to respond with a fear that if they refuse too many offers, Uber's AI algorithms will put them in a penalty box, timeout of unknown duration, ghosted from receiving additional offers, or as Uber is now piloting in 3 states, receiving even worse offers going forward. Dara Khosrowshahi, why are you such an asshole? Like what drives you? Why are you revenging? Greg is in the house, throws down 5. High five, great success. Thank you, Greg. You and Jeff need to clear things out. You two are here to help us drivers, not to compete with each other. And why do I need to clear things out? I'm totally fine with Jeff. I've headbutted Jeff in the past, but we're cool now. Why say that we need to clear things out? I'm on the same page as Jeff. He's fighting for drivers. I'm fighting for drivers. He's showing drivers how to get private clients. I'm showing. So, if anything, a lot of the principles that I've been preaching for years, he's actually introducing to his channel. I don't know what you're complaining about, but again, I appreciate that type of feedback, and I regard Jeff as a friend. I really do. And we don't have to always, it's the same with Sergio, you don't have to always agree on everything. I don't have to agree with everything that Jeff does. I don't have to agree that Jeff is turning his channel into a semi-political channel. I don't have to, it's his thing, it's his story, it's his channel. He does it his way. I have my ways, he has his ways. But in principle, helping the driver, putting the driver into a position to form your own company. In fact, Jeff took my course. Jeff took my private chauffeur course. I've been pushing and encouraging Jeff for a long time. Go and get private clients. Go and get private. He's done it. He's doing well. He has his own car now. Many of his people in his channel have received actually free codes to my. So I don't know why people think we're not working together. We are working together, but you don't have to. You don't have to. No, it's cool. Greg, 100%. He says, okay, Professor, I did not know you guys spoke. We did speak, Greg. And I respect Jeff. And you know why I respect him? Because I know he's a good father. You know, the main thing in life is that you show up as a good human being, as a good spouse, good husband, good wife, good boyfriend, good girlfriend, or be a good father or a good mother to your children, right? I think that's numero uno. That's the number one thing. When it comes to the rideshare world, I think the number one thing is actually staying safe, staying alive. Because if you can stay safe and you can stay alive and you can make money, you can convert that money to other and better things. So yeah, we're on the same page. There's no beef there. Absolutely none. So while juggling these split-second decisions, right? Remember these split-second decisions, Trip Radar? Like, oh, do you want to accept this trash? You got a few seconds. It's dangerous. Drivers are also expected to drive safely and to provide professional, courteous customer service, even when dealing with passengers who often cancel trips, aren't ready for pickup, who may be drunk, underage, abusive, or who or not who the app claim they to be. That's powerful. Len Sherman, that is powerful. Sergio in the house. That is powerful. Listen to this. This is powerful. So while the driver is juggling these split-second decisions on which trips to accept, drivers are also expected to drive safely and to provide professional, courteous customer service, even when dealing with passengers who often cancel trips, are not ready for pickup, who may be drunk, who may be underage, abusive, or not who the app claims they are, right? Like fake people. Eight different points, right? No, 9 different points listed by Len. Why? Because he understands the language. He understands the language of the rider and the driver, and that's why he can write about this. And woe betide drivers who receive a low rating or a complaint from a passenger for legitimate reasons or otherwise, e.g. asking a passenger not to vape in their vehicle or having a child seat available for their toddler. Oh, then they take revenge for us. Oh, why don't you have your car seat with you for your toddler? Why are you vaping in my car? I will punish you afterwards with a low rating. I will punish you afterwards with a low rating. Is Sergio in the house? Oh, Sergio Cruz is in the house. To help drivers operate more safely and profitable, several third-party apps, Maximo, Para, GigU, and by the way, I introduced GigU to the North American market. These were my friends' Stop Club from Brazil, so and didn't take a cent, didn't take $1 from them. Have emerged offering valuable features and functions as independent contractors. Drivers value decision, support, help to effectively control the types of trips they accept. To see how these apps work, consider the information a driver sees on the Uber's driver app when a trip offer comes in. There's the trip offer, and for $140, they want you to drive 245 minutes, 258 miles. Decline. Bye-bye. Who do I need to block? Who's being out of control here? Anyone I need to block? No, I don't think. I think everyone's cool, right? Everything is cool. Is everything cool? John Doe, who do I need to block? Cherry picking, baby. When at first glance this trip appears to offer attractive pay, there's a lot of information a driver must consider before accepting, right? Before he accepts this offer. Whoa, money looks good. Whoa, $140. Whoa, slow down. Slow down. John Doe, I don't know who you were chatting to. Names, please, names. While at first glance this trip appears to offer attractive pay, there's a lot of information a driver must consider before accepting. How long and how many miles will be required to pick up and drive the rider to the destination? What is the implied pay rate per hour and per mile? How likely will a revenue-generating return trip, this is the big one, right? Empty miles. How likely will a revenue-generating return trip be available? What is the rider's behavioral rating? That's a lot to process in few seconds. Uber allows drivers to make a decision. And that's the problem driver support apps are designed to solve. Take GigU, for example, my friends. A Brazilian-based, I'm so proud of this being in this article, and Len Sherman, you recognizing them, because this is the company I was pushing. This is a company I had found in Brazil, and I have the dialogue to prove this over the years. I said, guys, bring your Brazilian app to the United States. They're called Stop Club, right? I know the guys, they know me well, and we've just been helping. It's just been reciprocating, helping each other out. Light of My Life says these gig companies are out of control. Right you are. Right you are. John Delian, are you misbehaving? John Delian, let me look. I haven't seen any bad behavior from John Delian. I haven't. Sorry. I haven't seen any really bad behavior. Take GigU, for example, a Brazilian-based company that soon plans to enter the US market. Founded in 2017 under the name Stop Club, it soon became Brazil's largest gig worker community, serving over 220,000 active users, particularly in Sao Paulo, Uber's fifth largest ride-hail market. And by the way, Uber sued Stop Club in Brazil. Stop Club got their own attorneys, and 3 judges ruled in Stop Club's favor, shutting Uber down, shutting Uber up. For starters, GigU app enables drivers to set personalized work preferences, e.g. the minimum desired pay per hour or mile, and allow drivers to permit the app to automatically make trip acceptance decisions. Another popular feature is a schedule planning tool that allows drivers to estimate. Go and do me a favor. If you have not downloaded GigU, download it now. G-I-G-U, GigU. Go and look them up. Another popular feature is a schedule planning tool that allows drivers to estimate how many hours they will have to work to reach a desired gross and net earnings level per shift. And by the way, if you want to check it out, if you want to look at the interface, the article will be below the video. You can click on the article and you can go and study all of this, right? Great, great information. You can put in all your parameters, and it's very, very simple. So no. Louise, I hit the wrong button. I owe you. I hope you're back. While driving, GigU shows drivers the attractiveness of each incoming Uber trip offer, color-coded according to predefined driver preferences. In the example shown below, Uber's highest paying trip yields the lowest and least attractive rate on a per mile basis according to the driver's preference. In addition to real-time decision support, GigU also offers driver security features such as audio and video recordings to document risky ride situations, and audio chat features to share location information with fellow drivers or family members. Look at that, this comparison table. Despite, or perhaps because of their popularity, Uber has sought to constrain their functionality provided by third-party driver support apps. For example, last year, Uber filed a lawsuit in Brazil seeking an injunction to suspend GigU's operations that was denied by the courts. In the US in April of this year, Uber began disabling some of Maximo's driver support functions by putting blockers directly in the app to prevent Maximo from allowing drivers to automate going offline while driving a rideshare competitor's customer, or from automatically declining trips that fall below a driver's preferred earning threshold. Do you remember that when they interfered with Maximo? Maximo has continued to operate, but with reduced functionality. Another US driver supporter, Para, experienced similar technical blocks, limiting its functionality, and ultimately decided to suspend its US operations. So Dara, why are you punishing Para? Why did you punish Stop Club? Why are you punishing Maxima? It's because you are afraid that the bullshit, the information you are putting out will be captured and shared with the rest of the world, period. It's so easy. Third-party apps like Maxima Gig You gain access to driver data by using built-in functions direct on drivers' Android mobile devices, meaning they don't need to access Uber's service, APIs, or Uber login credentials. The displayed data are only available within the app and are not shared outside a driver's phone. Drivers are explicitly asked to allow each decision support function, giving drivers total control of how they choose to operate as independent contractors. In contrast, Uber recently forced its drivers to change their personal phone settings, permitting Uber to override the display of any other app a driver may be using, be it a competitor's rideshare app, texting family members, or anything else. That should be illegal, right? That should be illegal. Man, this is a long ass live feed. We're running on 2 hours. Let's go. The bottom line is, to protect its dominant US market position, there's a lot of information that Uber doesn't want its stakeholders to know. At the aggregate business level, Uber does not want the public, investors, or federal, state, and local regulatory agencies to know key operating metrics about its largest global market. Information on Uber's total number of trips, average price and pay trends, and commissions, aka take rates, are off the table, as are the impact of these metrics on Uber's profitability and for the millions of trips customers take every day. Uber doesn't want or allow its riders to easily access competitive prices or its drivers to use decision support tools that help evaluate pay rates. Uber has and uses its market power to keep things the way they are. ASZ got service and safety flag for a no-show. Lyft waited for passenger, called, passenger didn't swing by, and it was close to 7-minute mark, so I left. Marked the passenger as a no-show. Tula says it asks me that every login over rude apps. Tula says I'll try Y-Ride. Yeah, they knew. And look into Gig You. I like it. Tula, when I'm in San Fran, we going out for lunch or dinner. My treat. View from the driver's seat. Uber is certainly not alone in limiting the information publicly traded companies disclose about their operations. Over the years, Amazon, Apple, Google, and others have also been criticized on similar grounds. For example, Amazon launched its cloud services businesses in 2006, but it took 10 years before it was willing to release any data on the scale and profitability of AWS, Amazon's most profitable business unit. What does make Uber unique, however, is its CEO's repeated claims about his company's full transparency, which is a complete lie. It's a complete, absolute bullshit lie. Mark Maddox says sunshine is a good disinfectant. Michael Burke, riders' names still get me. Still fictitious names being used, yeah, sadly. And then they promised to get rid of those fictitious names. They didn't. For example, here's how Dara Khosrowshahi explained his philosophy on corporate transparency in late 2019 at the Economic Club of New York. We have to be transparent with our stakeholders and society. I think trust first comes with transparency. This is Dara Khosrowshahi. Let me show you what Dara Khosrowshahi says. Here, let's impersonate him. My name is ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dara Khosrowshahi. I'm the CEO of Uber, and this is what I said. In 2019 at the Economic Club of New York, we have to be transparent with our stakeholders and society. I think trust first comes with transparency. As a company, we are being much more transparent. And I think there's a demand of society for companies that, especially digital companies that I think in the past had kind of a data advantage to be transparent and put their data out there. That was Dara. Now it's me again. What are you smoking, Dara? Are you on meth? Are you on coke? Are you on marijuana? Are you on mushrooms? Transparency? Dara, you're out there preaching transparency? Really? Transparency? You don't think so? Bring the mask, bring the mask. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. Bring the mask, bring the mask. Bring the mask. Leo Casamento in the house. Ilan Ali is in the house. Uber closed my account temporary. Check it out. Gig Rocket account under my videos will help you out. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Dara Khosrowshahi. I'm trying not to laugh, but transparency does not exist in your vocabulary. I don't know, says, what accent is this? I don't know. It's the made up bullshit Dara Khosrowshahi accent. Are you okay with it? Do you have any problem with that? The following year, Khosrowshahi penned an op-ed for the New York Times, provocatively titled, "I am the CEO of Uber. Gig workers deserve better." Remember that? I made a video on that. Pledging, we have to be more transparent about what drivers make and the realities of the work. Yet, 3 years later, based on my research and discussions with hundreds of drivers, under Mr. Khosrowshahi's watch, drivers have become increasingly disadvantaged by Uber's opaque AI-driven pay-setting algorithms, working harder and earning less, and working longer hours, despite soaring auto ownership and operating costs. When I asked a number of veteran drivers what they would suggest if given the opportunity to talk directly to Uber's CEO, here's a sampling of their responses, which is great because he says, hey, drivers, if you were to say something to the CEO, what would you say? What would you say? Carmel, are you in Carmel? Love Carmel. Pablo Gomez, Uber driver experience 3.5 years. I've been driving for Uber for 3.5 years, but I'm not driving much for them lately. I mostly do Lyft. I work mostly from LA airports, and about 3 months ago, Uber really slashed their pay. Looking back, Uber's pay was really good as the economy came out of the pandemic in 2022 and 2021 and 2022. But within a couple of months of upfront fares coming up, you could see that's when they took control and slashed their pay. In the old days, Uber pay was more predictable. I used to be able to do pretty good, knowing where to be and when to make good money. With upfront fares, I feel like I can't beat the machine. I like playing the slots in Vegas. The house always wins. It's a trap and I'm losing the game. I'm not making anywhere near what I used to make. Powerful statement. Powerful. Robert Sanchez in the house. Patrick says, I really wish someone with integrity would whistle blow. That would be beautiful, isn't it? Patrick, if somebody would step forward and here I am, I'm going to speak the truth, I'm a whistleblower. Oh my God, let all the shit come out. Is there anyone? I mean, maybe we should create a fund, like a reward for a whistleblower. Like what could we raise for a whistleblower? What would it take? Any whistleblower out there, contact me. Like what would it take? What would it take for you to come out and spill the beans and share the goods? Obviously, you'd have to show proof that you are an employee at Uber, your W-2 or anything legit that you actually work at Uber. Hey, I'm a programmer, I'm this. I'm willing to whistleblow, but here are my demands. Let's hear your demands. If it takes some money, let's raise some money for a whistleblower to come forward, right? Because here's what the whistleblower fears most. I'm going to lose my job. Will I find another job? I'm too scared to come out. There are whistleblowers that would love to come out, but they are afraid that they're going to get cut off from this, right? Because they would be out. The whistleblower would be kicked out, and can he get another job? Will another person? So what would it take? $100,000, right? Would it take like $100,000 to bridge your pain and suffering for coming out as a whistleblower? Step up. Let us know. I'm telling you right now, if we had someone in the machine, in Uber, who is willing to be a whistleblower for $100,000 and showed all the proof, this is how many years, here are my pay stubs, this is how many years I've been a programmer, I've got it all. And you can actually meet with some authorities. I don't know, I guess you wouldn't meet with the police, but maybe you'd meet with the FBI, get the guy some protection, because they would be after his ass. But what that person fears most is, will I have a job tomorrow? That's it. Tony Slaughter says, whistleblowers fear jobless. I agree. But, you know, they also got to pay rent. They got to pay their mortgage. And like, if they come forward, like, potentially they could lose everything. If I could talk to Dara Khosrowshahi, this person says, I'd suggest three things: transparency, consistency, and simple arithmetic. Transparency, consistency, and simple arithmetic. And this is a powerful, powerful statement, right? Because consistency is important. You want to know Monday to Monday, what am I making? What am I making next week? What am I making the following week? Consistency, right? Simple arithmetic. Like, just break it down to miles and minutes. Simple. Transparency. Be truthful. Don't bullshit about all the hidden bullshit and the hidden commercial insurance and the external fees and the up the arse fees and in the crackle fees and take it up the shaft fees. Like, fuck it all. Just be transparent, right? The way that things are now, there's no rhyme or reason. The opaqueness of the whole system leads itself to a lot of funny business. Before, if a ride was $100 and then Uber was taking, let's say, $30 or $40 of that $100, now it's $100 and I see rides where Uber is taking $60. Mr. Khosrowshahi, don't come and tell me that you're not making money on that $100 because your insurance rates went up. So have mine. Powerful. In the old days, VCs were subsidizing low passenger fares. Now we're the subsidizer, right? True. The drivers are subsidizing what Uber is giving to the rider. It's the driver who is keeping rider prices artificially low. I wouldn't even say that rider prices are artificially low. Uber is not sharing their wealth with drivers because they don't have to. Now there's a black box algorithm that just gets to price whatever they want based on your habits. And I'm competing with people who are desperate and who are doing any rides, and that just keeps suppressing driver pay. It's powerful. Kyle Kesenich, Uber drive experience 2.5 years. I recently left Uber for Lyft because of the complete lack of value Mr. Khosrowshahi shows towards his drivers. He needs to put more emphasis on the lifeblood of Uber and show more appreciation for experienced drivers instead of constantly putting drivers in a position of racing to the bottom. Uber's policies are pushing out his best and most experienced drivers, particularly those like me who drive full-time in a relatively new Tesla. Instead, he's constantly bringing in new drivers in beta cars that degrade Uber's customer service. I've spoken about that a lot, that Uber's customer service goes down. Why am I incentivized? We have like a little sex freak in the house. The little sex freak is in the house. We'll just get rid of him right there. I didn't see him. I just flushed him down the toilet. Where's my toilet? I just took this guy, right? Did you see that guy? I didn't see him come into the room, right? But this was him. It's just like Darrow. We had someone, we had like a troll in the room who was shaped like a piece of shit. So what I did is I threw him in the toilet, flushed once. Did he go down the tubes? No, he didn't. I flushed again, and he's gone. That's how we handle a troll. So if you want to make a statement in this channel and be a troll, expect to get flushed down the tubes. Sean Selick, Uber driver experience, 2 years. I started driving just as upfront fares were coming in, and fares were pretty good. I was making some pretty decent money with bonuses as a business owner. I didn't expect bonuses, quests, and everything else to be going on for too long, but I didn't expect it to completely go away. In 2023, I remember vividly, actually around the November of 2023, when I stopped getting any type of quests for any type of bonuses, and I also noticed the upfront fares started to drop tremendously. I remember thinking, there's no way I'm getting $6 offers for 20-minute rides. I thought it was just for the day. But the next day, I go on, and it's the same thing. Upfront fares were no longer favorable for the driver. That's when I realized something is definitely going on here, and it's not right. I worked in corporate America for a long time. There was always an explanation or reasoning behind what my company would do and why and when. I worked at T-Mobile. They say, okay, we got to make these types of cuts and we have to push this type of product, and this is the reason why, right? I understand making or earning money from Uber is different. I'm not directly employed by them. However, this gaslighting campaign that they started, oh, our drivers love it. You know, they're making $32 an hour on average. I was listening to it and going, come on, man. And it's not like we can call somebody up and go, hey, where's my $32 an hour? Very well said. Where do we have do we have another toilet bug that we need to flush? I think we're pretty good. With 72 people in the house, 111 likes. If you haven't smashed the like button, hit it right now. In the old churn and burn, so they don't mind losing drivers. Yeah, I mean, if I was running a business, I too would want as many people as possible, but the churn part of it is people not staying because they don't believe in the company anymore. But the company doesn't care about that. They only care about the shareholder aspect of it, and it takes a while for a new driver to figure out Uber's games. Very, very true. The part that I don't understand is their lack of transparency. Instead of trying to let us know, hey guys, you are human, we understand you, we hear you. This is what's going to be coming up. It doesn't affect my pocket as much as it does for full-time drivers who drive 70 to 80 hours a week. I talk to some of these drivers and my heart goes out to them. You know, some of them sleep in their car. I've met many of those people sleeping in the car. I've seen people go out their car after they sleep in it and go and shower or clean up at Starbucks. They still believe in Uber because they believe that the good times are going to come, but they keep falling into the mousetrap. And that mousetrap and the good times, that's the addiction the AI creates, right? So Brian Walker says 17 miles to pick up and 1 mile ride that pays $15. How the hell does that work when someone paying $15 for 1 mile? Vibes Attic Entertainment says Uber is done. They fried. Finito. But I know he's afraid of these types of questions. That's why he will not have a town hall or some, that's so true that Derek Khosrowshahi is so afraid to do a town hall, or so afraid to do a live feed with open comments, right? Because he knows he's going to get shut down. He absolutely knows he's going to get destroyed by drivers. So he doesn't allow that. But I know he's afraid of these type of questions. That's why he will not have a town hall or some type of get together with drivers who've been driving for a while. The ones who would love answers, but because he should want me to create a good perception of Uber, what they have now is not sustainable. Vibes Attic Entertainment is a veteran driver. Acknowledge you, my friend. 10,000 plus trips. Awesome. Hard worker. When asked to share feedback on Uber's efforts to monitor driver sentiment, a spokesman replied, "We cannot share confidential Uber data with you just because you're writing a blog post. And that includes raw survey data from our drivers. But we will emphasize again that we will continually conduct large-scale driver surveys. We randomly survey US drivers directly, and look how much full of shit they are. Really. I mean, this guy is talking directly out of his arsehole, directly out of his ringhole, directly out of his sphincter, out of his anus, right? The spokesman here. We randomly survey drivers directly in the app, as well as conducting blind surveys through a third party, resulting in thousands of responses around sentiment every single day." BS. On any given day, Reddit, X, Twitter, YouTube are filled with posts from drivers sharing screenshots of low-paying ride offers, often accompanied by indignant commentary, too colorful to share here. Organized driver groups have formed around the country, serving as forums for local grievances, in many cases supported by political action groups lobbying for gig work regulations. To capture and amplify this zeitgeist, numerous podcasts and videocasts have emerged, highlighting declining pay and work rules that violate their status as independent contractors, along with tips on how to make the best of an ever more challenging business. But sadly, Uber's CEO and a growing number of his company's drivers appear to be talking past each other. So true. Clinshot Images says it's like Darryl answers questions depending on a script and not the truth. Amen. Thank you for saying that. Deepesh says, last night I made $300 in 10 hours with tips here in Atlanta, Georgia. $45 gas, $10 Chipotle, netting me around $245 minus car expenses. Rides are getting longer and pay is getting lower. Very true. Who needs the drain? Who needs the toilet drain? We're good. Tijuana in the house. Hola, amigo. Mr. G Dog. Mr. G Dog is in the house. Salute you, my brother. It doesn't have to be this way. Flourishing companies and industries that Uber cited as worker pay comparables in its 2019 IPO prospectus, retail, wholesale, restaurant services, and other similar work, have distinctly longer-term perspective on the strategic value of customer-facing employees. Take the U.S. retail sector. The two most successful U.S. grocery retailers over long term have been Costco, 3 times greater shareholder value growth over the past 5 years than Walmart or Kroger. And by the way, I've actually had the time to take, I think, to a meal, to a lunch, 2 Costco workers, and they were beyond. Gracias, amigo. They were beyond happy working for the company. They felt like the company cherished them. They felt like the company valued them. They said the company incentivized them, paid them well. So whatever Costco is doing, Uber needs to follow. Whatever Costco is doing, Lyft can learn from. Whatever Costco is doing, Tony Zhu from DoorDash should pay attention to, right? So Costco, yeah, Costco. I love Costco, by the way. I mean, you buy a lot of shit and you spend like a half a paycheck, but they're great. I love it. Privately, Trader Joe's, 4 times higher sales per square foot than Walmart or Kroger. Sure, there are differences in the cost structure, and business models of grocers and rideshare companies, but both industries operate in fiercely competitive sectors with thin margins and significant customer-worker interactions, arguably even more important in the ride-hail industry. Nonetheless, from the beginning, Costco's and Trader Joe's founders recognized the importance of front-line workers to their company's long-term success. Here's what Trader Joe's founder, Joe Coulombe, had to say. You can't afford to have cheap employees. Time and time again, I'm asked why no one has successfully replicated Trader Joe's. The answer is that no one has been willing to pay the wages and benefits and thereby attract and keep the quality of people who work at Trader Joe's. Thank you, CEO of Trader Joe's, to speak the truth. I would wish that the CEO of Trader Joe's would call up Dara, right? Would the CEO of Old School now, right? Let me call Dara here. This is the CEO. His name is Joe Coulombe, calling up. Hey, Dara, how are you? All right. Listen, I'm having a little get together at my house. You know me, right? Trader Joe's CEO, right? Yeah, you know me. Joe Coulombe, you've heard of me. Yeah, I've heard of you. So listen, hit up Tony Zhu, hit up David Risher, and you, the three of you and me. We go out for a nice sushi, and I'm going to show you, right? I'm going to show you how to pay drivers. I'm going to show you how to create real benefits and incentives for drivers, right? I'm going to show you how to increase the quality of Uber, DoorDash, and Lyft, right? So I truly hope you take me up on my offer. I have a lot to teach you. Oh, I'm not so sure if I can come, but I'll certainly call Tony Zhu and David Risher and see if they can come. I like to do it my way, and that is steal, bait and switch. Fuck these drivers over, man, you know? Hey, listen, if you don't want to come to the dinner, if you don't want to learn how to treat people, not a problem. Have a great day. Goodbye. That's it. Dara did not take the invite. Costco founder Jim Senegal echoed similar sentiments. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. Listen to this. Costco founder. Paying your employees well is not only the right thing to do, but it makes for good business. It doesn't do much good to have a quality image, whether it's with the facility or whether it's with the merchandise, if you don't have real quality people taking care of your customers. Amen. Right? I mean, we are real quality drivers trying to protect our 5-star ratings, taking care of Uber's riders, taking care of Lyft riders. But this is what they're not willing to do. They're not willing to pay us. So I would hope that the Uber CEO, the Lyft CEO, the DoorDash CEO, the Instacart CEO, the Amazon Flex CEO would all listen to the Costco founder and the Trader Joe's CEO. The founder CEOs of Costco and Trader Joe's were as highly regarded by investors as by frontline workers who they often met during unannounced store visits. By executing highly differentiated strategies supported by strong business models, equitable sharing company profits with all the stakeholders, these CEOs position their companies for enduring success. So when I read that, what it tells me, which I think is so important, is communication, right? They randomly go in there to Costco and they talk to their employees. Do you think this fucktard CEO David Risher or Dara Khosrowshahi, do you think they're actually going to go down to Cleveland or Chicago and like huddle with the drivers? Hell no. I mean, they pay $2 million for security to protect their ass. They're not going down there. They're not coming down to meet us. It's this arrogant attitude, right? They're just not of the caliber of the Costco founder and the Trader Joe's CEO. In contrast, Uber's strategy has yielded substantial short-term shareholder returns, 150% in 2023, at the expense of its drivers who suffered a double-digit earnings decline in 2023 and aren't faring much better this year. Thank you, Len Sherman, for speaking the truth. Thank you, Len Sherman, for revealing the inconvenient truth to Dara Khosrowshahi. We have 80 people in the house. We have 115 likes. Please hit the like button. Mr. Khosrowshahi's public appearances mirror the company's prioritization of shareholders over workers, while Uber CEO maintains an active presence at investor forums and business-orientated podcasts. You won't find him interacting with drivers. Oh my God, how true is this? I have to repeat this, right? Because this is what I've been saying for years. You are not able, you're not willing to meet with drivers. Here, Len Sherman says, Mr. Khosrowshahi's public appearances mirror the company's prioritization, his priorities of shareholders over workers, while Uber's CEO maintains an active presence at investor forums and business-orientated podcasts. You will not find him interacting with drivers at organized or impromptu meetings. It's a big double fuck you driver attitude. That's what Dara Khosrowshahi has. He will not accept invitations for podcasts, interviews hosted by, he won't come onto Sergio's channel. He won't come to my channel. He's too afraid because he knows he's going to get ripped apart by a pit bull. Companies that alienate their frontline workers, particularly in services businesses, really do well over the long term. Damn, I wish I had a coffee. I wish I had a bottle of water, because I got to say, after 151 minutes of talking, 151 minutes of talking, right now, almost almost 3 hours. Hawaii was epic, baby. Slick Nick in the house. Hawaii was the bomb. Thank you, Rob. Companies that alienate their frontline workers, particularly in services business, really do well over the long term. Adverse consequences include higher turnover, reduced productivity, and degraded service quality, leading to lower customer satisfaction and loyalty. I think that's what's going on right now. These conditions, in turn, often invite new competition and regulatory oversight, as we've already seen in Uber's rideshare and delivery business. Minnesota and Massachusetts recently joined New York, Washington, and California in reaching agreements with Uber and Lyft to guarantee drivers minimum pay rates and additional benefits, right? So those 5 states, the drivers fought for what they deserved. California, they're still getting screwed over. Perhaps no one has studied the relationship between worker engagement and long-term corporate success more than Fred Reichelt, a Bain Fellow creator of the Net Promoter Score system and author of Winning on Purpose, The Unbeatable Strategy of Loving Customers. In his 4 decades of advising corporate clients on long-term growth strategies, Reichelt has written, if you wonder what getting and keeping the right worker has to do with getting and keeping the right customer, the answer is everything. Without trust, there can be no loyalty. Without loyalty, there can be no true growth. Wow. Powerful. Powerful. And too many companies these days can't tell the difference between good profits and bad. You're probably wondering how in heaven's name, profit, that holy grail of the business enterprise, can ever be bad. Short of outright fraud, isn't $1 of earnings as good as another? Certainly accountants can tell the difference between good and bad profits. They all look the same on the income statement. While bad profits don't show up in the books, they are easy to recognize. They are profits earned at the expense of customer relationships. The ball is in Uber CEO Dara Khosrowshahi's court. Wow. I mean, Len Sherman is smacking him down. In South Africa, we call it a puss club. Smacking him down in this article. Patrick in the house. throws down $5. High five. Great success. Patrick Pitts, Professor, keep the fireside chats in motion. I appreciate you. Much love, my brother. Much love. Dara and David should go out for a week to drive. Yeah, they need to go drive in Chicago. And they need to go drive in New York. They need to go drive in Cleveland. They need to go and drive in Compton and Inglewood, wherever, all over the show, right? Not in Napa Valley, right? David Richard, you take some clients in Napa Valley, really? In the beautiful wineland? Wow. Thank you, Patrick Pitts, once again. So, the ball is in Uber CEO Dara Khosrowshahi's court. He said the right thing in headlining his 2020 New York Times co-op. I am the CEO of Uber. Gig workers deserve better. It's time to take actions that match these words. Here are some suggestions that would better serve all of Uber stakeholders over the long term. Establish more open and responsive. Listen and learn. Listen and learn, Khosrowshahi. Establish more open and responsive channels of communication with Uber driver community. I have been preaching that from day one in this channel. Learn how to communicate and interact with drivers, including regular comprehensive surveys of driver satisfaction to monitor the impacts of company policies, town halls, and improve dealer support services. Too many drivers do not currently feel heard, valued, or respected. Too many drivers do not currently feel heard, valued, or respected. Amen. This guy understands us. Relatedly, be more transparent and honest in communicating how Uber's business practices impact all company stakeholders. Uber's CEO can't just declare perfect transparency, he has to earn it. The driver quotes included in this article reflect the growing dissatisfaction of a large segment of Uber drivers who perceive that Uber is not being straight with them. It is Uber's responsibility to understand and address current sources of misunderstandings, distrust, and demoralization. Amen. Yes, you can. You can wear my watch for your prom. Uber doesn't have to wait for state or national regulation to enact pay rate minimums nationwide. Rate cards have been a hallmark of Uber's corporate policy for all but the last 2 years. There will undoubtedly be a vigorous debate over what fair minimum pay rates should be, but there should be no debate over the need for acceptable minimums that take driver utilization and vehicle operating expenses into account. Uber can and should continue to use dynamic pricing to manage supply-demand imbalances and retain the right to earn as high a take rate as the market will bear. That's why you should, that's what an independent contractor should do. But Uber will not regain the trust of drivers as long as there is no pay rate floor, which currently enables the company to boost profits by cutting driver pay. Amen. Amen. Good night, June Boyer. Thank you for being here. Cherry, Tula, let's throw out those cherries. I'll bring a whole pack of cherries. How many? Let's have a cherry eating competition, Chula. How many cherries do you think you can eat? Fill up a bowl for you, or fill up a bowl for me. Accelerate collaborative efforts with government agencies seeking to improve other aspects of driver work conditions. Uber's own past surveys have highlighted the areas of greatest driver concern, including safety, sick pay, deactivation process. And if you've been deactivated, my friends, there's no better place than Gig Rocket or Activation Hero. The links are below, right? We file a legal appeal and we file the claim for your lost earnings. We stick it to them. Chula, you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. Looks like you're going to eat 24 cherries. Okay, game on. Game on. Chula said she can out-eat me in cherries. I'm ready if you are. Recognize that Uber will predominantly rely on drivers to transport people and goods for the meaningful future. As Mr. Khosrowshahi acknowledged earlier this month, during Uber's Q2 2024 earnings call, Autonomous vehicles are not something that we're going to look to make substantial profits. Bullshit. Oh, autonomous vehicles are not something. Let me quote Dara Khosrowshahi. My name is Dara Khosrowshahi, and this is my name is Dara Khosrowshahi, and autonomous vehicles are not something that we are going to look to make substantial promises from over the next 5 to 10 years. Oh my God, this guy lies with a straight face. With a straight face. With a straight face, this guy can lie. Oh, no, we're not looking to make any profits from autonomous vehicles. No. I call bullshit. I call BS. Rather, Uber's nearly 7.5 million drivers worldwide, more than 3 times the number of employees at McDonald's or Walmart, will continue to serve as the backbone of the company's business. He's just trying to say that to please us. So the well-being, satisfaction, engagement, productivity, and retention of Uber's massive workforce is critical to the company's success. But you'd never know it from the company's commentary during Uber's most recent earnings call, during which Mr. Khosrowshahi said, on the mobility side, more driver supply brings down prices for riders and improves reliability. And as driver supply improves, surge comes down, ETAs improve, the service itself becomes more compelling. These comments signal Uber's overwhelming bias toward improving its rider value proposition over rider earnings. After all, Len Sherman, you are 30 times smarter. You are 30 times more intelligent than this fool, right? Have you heard of Tower EV in Inglewood? No, I haven't heard of them. After all, how would more driver supply bring down rider prices, if not by cutting driver pay? And if increased supply makes Uber's service more compelling for riders, what about the value proposition for drivers? Uber's CEO seems to be suggesting a limitless, fungible supply of drivers regardless of the pay of the company's offers, but this assumption is illogical and unsustainable, as is already likely evident in declining US driver acceptance rates and increasing rider wait times, 2 metrics among many others that the company will not disclose. So true. So true. In conclusion, Uber's recent profit improvement puts Dara Khosrowshahi in the pantheon of greatest CEO turnarounds of all time, e.g., in the good company of Steve Jobs at Apple and Reed Hastings at Netflix. Along the way, Uber's CEO has often praised the efforts of his marketplace group that develops the company's AI pricing and pay algorithms. But while Uber's marketplace wizards have effectively exploited the financial hardship of growing precariat workforce, enabling Uber to algorithmically optimize driver pay cuts, Khosrowshahi shouldn't forget the contributions, value, and dignity of Uber's human workforce, without whom the company couldn't deliver people and goods to enrich the company and its CEO. Without whom the company couldn't deliver people and goods to enrich the company and its CEO, right? Powerful. An Uber spokesman agreed with this statement, commenting, "We more than anyone appreciate the importance of drivers on our platform. We know that we can't be successful unless they are. And while we may not always get it right, we are committed to continuing to work a better driver experience. We're proud that millions of people find flexible work on our platform, but that won't stop us from always working to be better." His final words, right? The final words of Len Sherman. almost 3 hours later, because I'm getting exhausted. Let's hope Uber's deeds match their words going forward. Gig workers deserve better. Let me put this. We should make a t-shirt like gig workers deserve better. My designer friend, can you knock that out, right? And send me a shirt? Gig workers deserve better. I have a designer friend in New York who makes t-shirts for me. Knock that out. So, long, like 3 hours. It took us 3 hours to go through. Obviously, we read out a lot of comments, we had a lot of fun, we had a lot of laughs. The inconvenient truths the Uber CEO doesn't want you to know. So I'm going to end the live stream by saying thank you everyone that came to visit. Thank you everyone for your marvelous and wonderful contributions. Always keep on cherry picking. Never let your guard down. Always be 360 degrees aware of your surroundings. Keep those windows up. Keep the doors locked. Get your pepper spray. Get your dash cam. Be a chameleon. Be a gecko. Figure out the Uber and the DoorDash and the Lyft bullshit that comes your way so that you're always on top of things, right? And sharing is caring. Put the pressure on the companies. We deserve better pay. We deserve better safety. We deserve an end to wrongful deactivations, right? These are the three things that drivers hate the most. Declining pay, poor safety, wrongful deactivations. It's just too stressful. Keep it coming. Keep the power coming. Keep on smiling. Keep on being positive. Keep on sharing the love. It doesn't matter whether you're Democrat or Republican. Give each other a hug. Show each other some love. Show each other some respect. Dara Khosrowshahi, you truly need to step it up, right? David Risher, you truly need to step it up. All of you gig CEOs, you could learn a ton from this article. You could learn a ton from Len Sherman. You could learn a ton from the Costco founder. You could learn a ton from the Trader Joe's CEO. Get out of your damn ego and start caring about your workers. It is your workers, it is your drivers, your food delivery drivers that are bringing in buckets and buckets and buckets and buckets of cash every day. But we're tired of the 30% and you getting the 70%. So you really need to step it up. We are sick and tired of the bullshit, of the horse shit, right? The time is now. Thank you everyone who made a contribution or a donation today in the channel. Thank you everyone that gave the video a like. If you haven't give the video a like, hit it right now. Tula and I have a cherry eating competition that we need to fulfill in Carmel or San Francisco, her restaurant of choice. And just be real, my friends. Get the word out. Use social media. Please share the video on Facebook, on your Facebook page. Please do. I'd appreciate it. Please, let's highlight this great article of Len Sherman, who took the time to write this masterpiece for us drivers, right? Protecting us drivers, calling out the bullshit of Dara Khosrowshahi. He is not afraid to confront Dara Khosrowshahi. And that's what's important. We cannot be afraid to talk the truth. Right? Let's be real. Let's talk about the facts of rideshare. Let's talk about the facts of food delivery. I want to leave on a positive note, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that a lot of new rideshare companies emerge. I hope that new rideshare companies, whether they get a little bit of funding or however they get off their feet, right, in whatever city, whether it's here in the United States or abroad, there's a lot of great people that will rally around you. There's a lot of great drivers out there that are sick and tired of the declining earnings. There are a lot of drivers that are sick and tired of not being kept safe. There are a lot of drivers sick and tired of not being treated as true independent contractors. There are a lot of drivers sick and tired of the endless threats of being wrongfully deactivated. Oh, by the way, somebody just said, oh, I got deactivated by LYFT, Depeche. My link is below. Go to Gig Rocket and Activation Hero. Those attorneys and paralegals will take care of you and file a claim for your lost earnings. But ladies and gentlemen, we are better than these people that run these companies. We are better. We are better humans, right? We care. We share. We lift people up. We don't put them down like the CEOs. We don't push people down. We raise people up. We lift the spirits, right? And Julia Victor says, what's the best sandwich? Dude, don't get me hungry, man. I'm so hungry right now. Guys talking about sandwiches, you're killing me. I think Jersey Mike's. Honestly, Jersey Mike's is the best sandwich. So let's work together, right? Just get, like, you know, every time I meet a driver that wants to have a minute with me in LA or say, hey, pulls down the window, I'll stop. I'll give him a hug. I'll take a selfie, right? We owe that to each other, right? We're family. And our brothers and sisters in London, in Sydney, in South Africa, in Europe, wherever you are, in Paris, you are our extended family. Let's work together. Let's use social media to put the pressure on these companies. YouTubers, keep the videos coming, right? Keep talking about the news, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Whether there was a carjacking, talk about it, right? It could improve safety. Whether it's a poor earnings that you're receiving or declining pay, rise up, protest, and strike. We can do better together. And to the FAIR co-op team, I've worked with you guys for 6 years. I've brought you 50,000 drivers to your platform. I have received a marketing fee of $8,000. I wanted to stop, pull the plug 3 years ago, renegotiated the deal, and I'm finally, after my attorneys, their attorneys spoke, we're meeting of the minds. We're going to march forward, and we're going to try and roll out services for rideshare and food delivery that can take on the giants, right, in a 90% a driver, 10% co-op split. So I'm glad we ironed things out. We have some contracts to sign on Monday and Tuesday. We got rid of the riffraff. There were some horrible threats from a Philadelphia driver. Horrible. I can't even show you the video. I can't even show you the pictures. But his channel is down. It's taken down on YouTube. He was kicked out. And unfortunately, this guy is going to have to deal with this South African here in the near future, right? Because what you did, Mr. Kelly, I will not let go. That's who I am. I will not let that one go, right? That's personal, and you freaked out my daughter more than me. Like, you're not going to scare me. I take care of things very quickly, right? I'm old school. I come from a training that you have never ever experienced. So good luck to you, my friend. If you think that's how you're going to roll or intimidate or threaten people, ain't going to happen. But what I didn't appreciate is how that my actual daughter saw that and saw your threats and what you said there and what type of weapons you used. I can look the guy directly in the eye and say, Mr. Kelly, you do not intimidate me, not a single bit. In fact, you made things 100 times worse for you in your life. I don't know if you're still driving for Uber or Lyft, but there is no space for you in any company with that type of attitude, right? There's only one way, downhill. So it's up to you to change your ways, to improve your ways, to better your life. And I'm going to tell you straight up, what you did was unacceptable. And thank God AJ and Danny, the founders of that company, noticed that and addressed that with you. That's not what humans do. Maybe you think you're powerful and you feel powerful for doing that, but I'm not letting that go. I'm not letting that slide. Just know that. So all the very best. And Rob Robinson, you know the guy? And by the way, privately, anyone in the Philadelphia region, you can reach out to me privately by phone or by email, anything that you have. I'm dealing with some detectives and sheriffs here in LA and now in Philadelphia. Anything you have, come share it with us, right? I have a lot of information on this character, and these type of people should not be walking around in society and thinking they can do what they do. Doesn't fly. So all the very best to you guys. Stay safe out there, right? Please stay safe. And know you're numero uno. You're number one. Oh, so you want my watch for your prom? Sure. There it is. We can make arrangements. You send me the goods. You send me goods that I maybe not know about, Kelly. I have a very expensive watch waiting for you. Right? So I wish all of you. And what market do you drive in, Rob Robertson? Please share. What market do you drive in, Rob Robertson? Please do share. He messed with my family is going to pay. I'll tell you right now. I can't elaborate, but that doesn't fly. Right? And I don't know if that guy was in the army for 3 years. I was in the army for 3 years. It was horrible. It was horrible. And I don't know if he has my history or has been through what I've been through. But he better be prepared. That's all I can say. So everyone here, anyone in Philadelphia, like I said, step forward, share information, and I'll reward you for that information, because that information is valuable. Blessings to you all. God bless you. Be safe out there. And let's get this fair co-op off the ground. Let's make it happen. And I'm excited to work with their team, because the train is back on the track. The train is back on the track. Watch the video. We're in 176 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, 180 minutes is 3 hours. So I am going to make an effort. I'm hungry and I'm thirsty, but I'm going to make an effort to go for another 3 minutes, another 3 to 4 minutes, so that I can hit 180, which is 3 hours. I haven't done a 3-hour live feed for a long time, my friends. A really, really long time. 3 hours is rather exhausting, right? And stay safe out there, my friends. Stay safe. Warning, streamer has been reported by anonymous user. That's fine. You guys stay safe out there. And again, like, I think the best investment really is if you could get yourself a dash cam. And don't get a cheap $60, $80 dash cam. Make sure that you get a dash cam that's at least $150 to $200, because in a dash cam, what's important, right, is that depending how you position the cameras, that you have the angles on anyone in your passenger seat and in your back seat, right? And the real good cameras give you literally surround vision. If you hit something from the front, if you drive into a truck, it'll record it. If you have something hitting you from behind, if you actually leave your car, right? If you leave your car overnight and somebody bumps it or tries to break it, it activates the dash cam and it starts recording. So I think the best dash cams out there are the Van Trues. It used to be the N4 Pro. They even have more sophisticated technology right now. There are companies out there. Kurilla says Uber sucks. There are companies out there that offer direct, non-stop uploading of footage that's happening in the car real time, always into the server. So it's constantly refreshing, right? So you really never skip a beat. You never skip a video frame. It's constantly being uploaded into the cloud. It's the same way like that these security cameras, like these blink cameras, constantly uploaded into the cloud. So if there's any little activity around your car, it's captured. It's captured. And that could be the make or break with an insurance company. It could be the make or break on anything that goes inside your car, right? If there's a carjacker that steps inside your car and it's already uploaded to the cloud, it's too late. Even if they try and rip the dash cam off and have bad intentions when they get into your car, it's already too late because it's already uploaded into the cloud. So this is the best money you can spend, and I would not save on that. I would not save on your safety and security, right? You really you really need that dash cam, and I'm sorry, but those $40-50 dash cams simply don't do it. They don't do it, right? Carjackings through the roof. People using the package services for all the wrong reasons. We don't know what's in these parcels, so it's imperative. It is so important, muy importante, that we get good dash cams. And you know, we did a video the other day, I think it was about 2 weeks ago. There were two types of videos, right? There were two drunk passengers that attacked the driver, skinny guy, and the driver unloaded entire pepper spray on these two big males. And I mean, done deal, right? It saved him. And then we also saw that wacko. Did you see that wacko lady? That maybe she was on drugs, or maybe she was on alcohol. I don't know. But she just literally reached in, no reason, and started emptying an entire can of that pepper spray on the driver. Well, the whole story blew up in social media. It blew up in the newspapers, and they found out where she worked on LinkedIn, and she's done. She's lost her job. So don't do stupid things. Think things through before you make dumb moves, right? Like, stuff that you can do can get you into a lot of shit. Like, people get into a car, teenagers try to steal a car just because they're carjacking, they want to be cool, they want to steal a Honda Civic or something like that. Think things through, dude. You're on camera, right? You're on camera. You're potentially on a dash cam. You're potentially in jail a day or 2 days later. So, you know, think things through. It's really, really important. Clever Gavilnaris is in the house. Chicago. Shout out to Chicago. Yeah, pretty rough out there in Chicago. Pretty rough. But it's rough in every city, right? It's ever been arrested? No. Michael Burke, I do well. I just do airport runs. That's interesting, because when I look at LAX and I see the drivers there waiting for hours and hours and hours amongst hundreds of drivers, I don't think they're really making money. I don't think they have really ever been making money the last 6 to 12 months, sitting at the airports in their cars waiting for trips, and there's 340 other cars. So I don't know, maybe if you're making money at an airport, that's fantastic. Sorry, it wasn't... Michael Burke does well at airport rides. Deepesh says, pay is extremely low here in Georgia. Please find alternative gig work. Amazon Flex is making good money. Good to know. Thank you for sharing. God bless you as well. Ladies and gentlemen, all of you, I wish you the very best. And I will be doing live feeds more frequently now that I'm back. In my office, I just have to sort out some problems that I've had with the computer here. The feed right now is in a vertical. I'm supposed to, it didn't allow me to shoot in horizontal, but we'll fix that by the next time. God bless you all. Thank you again. If you have not hit the like button, Please do it now. And if you could do me a big favor, let's. No, I'm not English. I'm not English. I'm born Washington D.C., born American, but the accent is South African. But I have a lot of good friends in England. If you can hit the like button, share the video, right? Get the video out. Immortal Coil says the idea of some drunk loser throwing up in my car makes me not want to do Uber. It's not a pretty sight. Thanks, Trunks. I only once I had 5 girls in the car and 1 girl threw up. I mean, I've been very lucky when it comes to the whole puking, the whole puking thing, right? Other people have reported nightmares. Like, I mean, I've seen photos. Your car's destroyed. I don't know how you clean that up. It costs a lot of money. So Orlando in the house, Orlando Airport. Leave us your messages. Leave us your messages, ladies and gentlemen. And please leave us your comments and messages. Please give us a shout out and share the video, Facebook, Twitter. What's important here is that the inconvenient truth Uber CEO doesn't want us to know, the driver to know. Well, guess what? Len Sherman, who took a lot of time, a lot of research writing this article, all filled with facts, did us such a favor by highlighting all of these inconvenient truths, right? They got to come out. They have to be said. So again, thank you. Bless you all. God bless. Please be safe. You're the number one, right? Your family relies on you. Your husband or your wife relies on you. Your boyfriend or your girlfriend relies on you. You are the number one. And on those 4 wheels, in your office, in your car, keep yourself protected.